I'm going to call the meeting of the Towns and Finance Committee to order at 6:03 p.m. This is the Towns and Finance Committee, January 14th, 6 o'clock. We're meeting in the Selectmen Chambers at Town Hall. We have called the meeting to order, and because we have remote, we need to do a voice attendance.
Gerald Mazik is here.
David Walker here.
Carol Hoffs is here.
Mary Jane Churchville here.
Dan Grant here.
And Don Hayes here. That is, I can do the math, 6 members, so we have a quorum. We are good to go. This meeting is being recorded. It will be played back on Channel 9 and will be available on the Townsend YouTube channel. At this point, there is a meeting of Board of Health, a joint meeting of Board of Health and Select Board meeting downstairs that I would suggest we watch later when it's available. Shaw's is coming in to do a presentation and present, but what I understand, they may not be getting into the details, just the presentations of contracts. And so we'll review them with Board of Health at a future meeting, whether it's a joint meeting with Board of Selectmen or standalone with the Finance Committee. So we'll see what the details of those contracts are. Other than that, I had no additions or deletions to the agenda. And I would like to recognize that Town Clerk Kathy Spofford is here, and that second agenda item will review the budgets. Okay, now moving into the work session, review the minutes from December 10th. That in the packet that handed out, that's the second page. If you didn't get a chance to read them, no, sorry.
Oh, packet. Is this it?
Oh,
No, that's Kathy's budget.
this is Kathy's budget.
Oh, I thought I.
Oh, I have a
Oh,
copy.
I have.
Yeah, you have it right
It's
there.
just
But these are all.
Second
the
page.
second page.
Oh,
So the
okay.
agenda's on the front page.
Oh, I read that because you sent it to us.
I did. I just didn't know if anybody would have that opportunity or need to.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, good minutes. Oh, no, not the minutes. Do you want me to make a motion?
Front page is the agenda.
Agenda, just got it.
So, if you're ready to make a motion, then we can make a motion on that.
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes of December 10th, 2024.
second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Any changes? Nothing heard. A roll call vote, and in the positive, we're accepting the minutes as presented.
Gerald Mazik is yes.
David Walker, yes.
Carol Hoffs says yes.
Mary Jane Churchville, yes.
Dan Grant, yes.
And Don Hayes, yes, it's unanimous. Minutes are complete. Okay, now, with Kathy here, we're gonna put a lot of order in my packet right now. We're gonna be, what I'd like to do is,
Is it fine?
That's fine.
it's in the packet. I don't have the budgets. Kathy has brought the budget up.
Oh.
But in the packet, I did print the BVA from the end of December. So we have a comparison of this year's budget, how much we've used to the budgets that are being presented.
You said BVA?
The BVA, so in the packet, in the,
This guy, right?
so
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah,
just kind of like, so,
okay,
it'll-
yeah. Oh, not that.
okay,
That's not
Yep.
on there.
but
No.
the pages,
I
It's
know,
where
I
it
don't
is.
know.
What
Accountant's office. Oh, yeah.
yeah, so what I did is
We're just,
in
I'm kind of confused with this.
I am
the package, instead of,
So I'm gonna go with
That's
mine.
Kathy's.
That's Kathy.
Yeah, so I'm putting
Okay.
mine right there for when we do Kathy. We're not doing that
Okay.
yet.
in here, town clerk will start
Oh, yes, yes.
with 160.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I forget to go down and take that off the printer.
So it just gives us the ability to.
Is it this one, Don?
Yes,
160.
yep, and the town clerk starts in the second section, 160.
Okay, so this isn't the entire BVA.
That's not the entire
Just the BVA
BVA,
to cover
to
her
to
budget.
cover her budgets, which we
Oh, I
got
see
copies
it.
of.
160 at the
Yeah.
bottom.
What page? Page 5.
Oh, okay.
I think I printed out the whole thing.
Yeah, you did.
See, I,
You want just the short version?
just hers? Oh, okay,
160 should start here.
all right. I didn't print it out the whole thing.
Yeah. That's a lot of ink. Yeah.
Well, because I was going through it and seeing what was what.
Oh, she's got, okay.
They're all the same, okay. we
No,
got that.
yeah, so
We
she's,
have to share.
yes, well, no.
Yeah.
She's got different packets for each section.
Right.
Right,
Oh,
Okay, that makes sense.
right,
All right.
right.
So,
Okay,
Okay.
so we'll start with 160. So who's got the 160
I got it. right here.
packet?
okay.
Okay. No, from Kathy.
From-
Kathy?
Oh, I think I have it on my computer. Does it say?
You- You do
Oh.
have that on your
Oh,
computer.
okay, this is 162,
125.
okay.
Yeah,
But she handed out, so there should be a
Okay.
160 in the handout.
right.
Is there
So
a 116?
This one's 163,
Packet.
298, this one's
Oh, yeah, this
297.
is what I do too. But this looks
Okay,
a little
that's all
different. 'cause
297.
this one's
Yeah,
like
that's all 297.
FY 25 approved, and then
This
this
is all
comes FY
All
25
right, I'll-
298,
request.
Okay,
Is that the same? as
164.
before?
What's this one right here?
so this one is
So
162.
which page are you
Okay.
looking at?
Let's see if we can put them back.
I'm looking at
Yeah.
which one of yours. Yeah, it was,
I'll go
and
with,
it
So
was
this
the
is
first page.
163,
that
right?
was- Yes, this is what we working with off of this year. And this is for next year.
The
So
164.
that, this is that, then that. Yeah. And then this is down here, right? Yeah. We just follow along like that. So down
Here's
here.
162.
So labor, did I go to labor? I haven't got one. Oh, I got a 297.
Yeah, this is all 297.
We'll slide 297 in here.
Yeah, that one is
The
wrong.
rest of them are in
This is
order,
labor.
we just have. these ones
Missing
right
one.
there.
But at the end of the day,
Is
labor,
it-
right? This here's a breakdown. Oh, yeah, you got this. out.
Yeah, the only thing is.
No, but for her, for next year, is that, what does she have right there?
She's
I
got.
don't know.
Who, me?
You
Yeah.
must have all 160.
We have all the
Oh, I
ones-
have all of them.
No, that's 160 and all the others.
Well,
That's one
We
packet.
separated.
but this is all 160. They're in groups by.
Oh.
Are you kidding me? I did that?
you
I
did
have
that.
them all.
Because you,
Oh, that's right. See, I color coded it,
yep,
but I,
Okay.
With paper clips?
I
I
That-
did,
Yeah,
because I
okay.
thought this will be one packet that I,
right.
So
And then
we're
you
all
put
on
it all
yellow.
together.
The yellow
Okay,
paper.
we're-
all the time I go
Didn't
from
tell
here
anybody.
to here.
Yeah.
Got it right.
Is it
Okay.
yellow? What color do you have? Blue, I have blue, I
Yeah.
read. Are we all
All right.
blue?
No, we,
No, just, they're all 160.
Oh,
Right.
whoa, okay.
yeah,
I'm
the
looking at my
the idea
computer.
is we're looking
All
at
right.
160,
Okay, I'm
which is the main
Don't
town
count on
clerk.
me.
All right.
That's okay, we are,
Okay.
We'll get
I
there.
tried hard.
Okay. So what's our first? How do we do this?
so the first sheet that is provided, so we had copies of this in Excel files. So for hard copy, we've asked for hard copy from,
Oh, okay.
for support
Mhm.
this year. So we're gonna eventually all get binders, but this was the first week in the binders.
I have my
Yeah.
binder. Do you, it's really set up nice. You want to
Yeah,
bring it in, you can
Let's
copy
do
it?
it, we'll do the same. I found mine from about 3
Oh,
years ago.
yeah.
So
Okay.
we can give that,
What size binder do you?
it's about a
use?
3-inch,
Well,
3-inch,
Three.
3 inch, that's
Okay.
big.
yeah, wow,
and it's pretty full. It's kind of like,
it's fun.
Carol, get excited.
Okay.
Binder. Okay, so
Okay.
Kathy, do you talk
Okay.
about this or do we ask you questions or how does this work?
We can go either way. We can have Kathy speak to it. at first. This is, and, yeah, so it's, Kathy, would you speak to 160,
All right, so for on the expense worksheet, we can start there. Everything
Okay.
is level funded. So, if you have any questions about that, it's the third page expense.
Expense worksheet?
Yep. So I level funded everything.
as per the,
Yeah,
budget.
right,
So you're asking for the same this year as you had last year?
yes.
Right.
Yeah, for all the expenses. For the labor, there's a step increase and a step increase and a COLA.
Yeah.
So I added that in, which equals 4%.
Now, can I ask a question about the COLA? That's cost of living increase, correct? Is that a law that you have to give it all the time?
It's in the contract. It's in
Oh,
the
okay,
contract
okay.
right now.
Okay,
The only thing I didn't carry forward, and I should have, is the special stipends for $1,000 and other for $900, which is certification and longevity. So that should be added in.
And the reason, so.
does that mean, step ups that you get?
Yeah, so because I've been here for 20 years, I get $900 longevity every year.
Okay, I get it.
And I'm certified, and we had adopted the Mass General Law, I forget what number it is, but for the certification for $1,000 a year.
So you're saying we need to add that 1,900
Yeah,
in?
yeah, you
Right.
need to add that in. I didn't carry it forward.
Oh, it's not in the 8,180?
No, it is that's FY 25, the proposal for FY 26.
So are they the same, Kathy, for this year?
So the total for FY 26 should be 84,351.
350.
Right.
Cool, all right.
On the salary, yeah.
Oh, I see, that's you and this is Jessica.
Right.
Gotcha.
All right, so does anybody have any questions about that?
Nope, I don't do that. That's pretty easy to read.
That's straightforward. I will go on the summary sheet, the one called worksheet on the bottom. We should probably bring through
Yeah.
the same, would be total of 2,400 on the other personnel services line.
Uh-oh, where are you?
Okay, so on the second page in this grouping,
Yeah.
under the third line down, under the section for personnel services,
Yeah.
other personnel services,
Uh-huh.
that number would be 2,400 in both FY 25 and 26. Because if we don't do that, when you look at and the reason I'm gonna say that, if we look at the BVA is showing the salaries line for this year at 126,731. So that does not match the 124,331. So it's
Right, Right.
Which other
Oh, my
personal
goodness.
services?
All right,
it's
yeah.
the
Oh, because-
longevity and
Yeah, the
the
longevity.
longevity.
Oh.
so it's,
Longevity and
Oh, it's
2,400,
Kathy's
yeah.
and Jess's.
Yep.
Oh, okay, combined,
Combined.
okay.
Combined,
Oh,
because
Oh, so
It's 2,400 combined.
it's 2,400 combined, 1,900 for Kathy and
Oh.
500 for Jeff.
Okay, okay,
So that
Okay.
would be 2,400. And
okay,
then we get a match between the FY 25 budget and the BVA.
okay, gotcha.
right,
Is this the BVA?
That's, yeah,
No,
the second one.
yeah, that one.
So if you look at the BVA subtotal for personnel, that's where I'm getting the 126.
I'm on my
Okay,
Okay, no,
It's on that, it's talking
So
about that.
we're looking at this
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
personnel
So if you look at-
subtotal.
Oh,
This year,
126,
that total is that, that's
Which
the,
one
that's the
is
budget
that?
total.
So this
Okay.
FY
And
25.
by adding the
This is FY
2,400
25.
on
Okay.
this
So
other
the
sheet,
number
Right.
here,
Yeah.
Now the
it's
numbers
off by
match.
that.
by that
Oh, okay,
2,400.
gotcha. All right, thank you.
Yeah, it didn't carry forward.
So,
Yeah, no, there's links that may be broken in the spreadsheet.
so it would be 126,731 is what this number should be right here.
Correct. Yep.
126,731, and then do we know what that one will be?
131,566.
Thank you, Kathy. Okay.
Thank you.
And
Yeah,
then
the calculator.
The total at the bottom would be 143,391. For FY 26.
Yes.
Oh, right
Oh, I
there.
see. So it's
it
about
should
a
be over here.
$3,000 increase, which
Okay.
is really recommended by
Alright.
your
Okay,
And then that
longevity
will
and
be
whatever,
Higher
Yeah.
by the 2,400.
400, yeah.
138.5.
COLA and longevity, yeah.
Okay.
I gotta get a job where I can have COLA.
Are you set
Yep.
with it?
Yep, okay.
There's a contract, I'm sure, do you?
So that,
I mean, I did
a
at the
little bit of
beginning,
that,
but
that
I think I'll-
reconciliation between the BBA and the budget sheets, just to
Right.
make sure
Okay.
we're doing it. And the other thing I would look at here is looking at the numbers and the percentage variance, in the BBA to date. The salary lines are sitting about 53%. We're halfway through the year, so.
Oh, that makes sense, so that works.
Yeah,
Those work, but when you look at longevity and the other, they're high, but because they're longevity, they get paid on anniversary date. So it's possible that they're 100% expended, but that's that's an okay thing.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not bothered by 100% used on a line to this point because. of
Right, because
longevity.
that's paid and it's done when
Mhm.
it's not, there's not
And
gonna be no
there's not
more
gonna
owed.
be
It's a
another-
one-time
Correct.
payout.
It's
Yeah.
a one-time
Yeah.
payout, not gonna be there for the rest of the year, so
Right,
Mhm.
so it'll stay at 100.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
it's kind of, so those are the kinds of things of checks and balances that,
Mhm.
that we can look at. Okay. So that was,
No, that's good, okay, I understand this, all right.
and the last is expenses and and again, those numbers, the office supplies is sitting at 60%, so, if it's 10% high, it's kind of like,
The 5942, you
the
mean?
5942, yeah, so that's, if, because this was through the end of December, which is halfway through the year, so that's not a number that would concern me. I'd probably, usually I would look for something 15% or higher, 15 out of balance. It's just something to watch if the office supplies, but I think, that's all a matter of usage. And I don't think.
So where is that broken down? Is that broken down on this one? On the expense
That's
sheet?
on the expense sheet, you'll see office supplies.
Oh, I
And
see it right at the
Okay.
top, yeah,
Yeah, and it's gonna be level funded, so I just.
yeah, so,
It's kind of like just,
got it.
Kathy, concerned about it, or is nothing's?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Now, what are professional services?
So that's, we just updated general code. So that would come out of that.
The E code?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
for the charter?
Yeah.
That was the charter.
Oh, okay.
so that, it's that type of expense.
Mhm. Now, when they update the bylaws, does that come out of that
Yeah.
also?
Yeah.
Okay,
Now, is that, for printing, or is that for,
So they print it, they give us 15 copies of the update printed, and then it goes online and they do everything.
and manage it?
online.
Right, okay.
And the updates. And then some
Okay.
dog licenses come out of there. That's another expense. So it's that type of stuff.
okay.
Oh, you pay for those little
Yeah.
tags, yeah,
Good
that's
point.
cute. Did I voted things come out of it?
No, that comes out of the election.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we didn't talk about it, but we have a bundle of 5 budgets managed by the town clerk, so.
Now, is this maintenance for the machine that doesn't work really good? Isn't the one that,
Is there a printer that doesn't go?
No,
oh, okay.
no, this, the maintenance there is for our dog program and general code, because they have a maintenance.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's a contract you're paying, just.
Yeah.
Okay. and paid monthly? Or quarterly?
Yearly.
Yearly, okay.
Yep. Yep, so with, LL Data Design, they do our dog database, the business database, and the boards and committees database, so there's 3 databases that they manage.
What are we renting?
Where?
On, equipment maintenance? Yeah. Oh, no, rental, never mind.
Yeah, I
There
don't
is-
have
yeah,
it.
the wrong
No,
place.
yeah.
Nothing, it's
Yeah.
already-
Yeah, it's equipment maintenance. and
Yeah.
repair. Um,
That's pretty easy.
Yep, and just a question, you don't have anything that would fall into capital equipment?
No, nothing coming up like that.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So I do have a quick question. On the second line in your budget, you've got advertising, printage, postage as 975.
Mhm.
Yep.
But in the BAV on postage, it shows a budget for 925. But it doesn't include necessarily advertising and printing, but I don't see a line for advertising and printing, which I'm assuming would be a $50 budget to get the total to 975.
No, I might have gone up on that because the postage cost went up.
Okay,
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So
right,
it-
yeah.
Yeah,
okay, so it
Because-
was 925 and now it's gonna be 975.
yes,
Because postage increased.
That's- That's why we do these. It's kind
So we have a
of,
little increase in
Yeah.
the expenses.
yeah, but it's explainable because I just heard it was like a quarter or something, they went up per stamp.
Yeah, they went up
It kind of-
high.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it went up, it was a bigger jump than I was expecting.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay, and then again, when we look at the bottom line, take out 50 bucks. It comes to, if we take out the $50 that we just found,
Mhm.
the FY 25 subtotal will be 11,775,
right,
and so the number matches.
right. 775.
75.
Okay, normally we vote on accepting the budgets, but at this point, I'd recommend we will vote on it a little later in a future meeting. The reason when we get to, the elections budget, that is,
Oh,
we're
because
gonna have to file, we're gonna have to file our conflict of interest.
Oh,
All of us that work.
Oh,
It's
Oh,
gonna-
that's
Oh,
right.
I forgot
that's
about
right,
that.
yeah.
so what happens is Dave's last man, only man
No.
No,
standing.
you file a,
we'll
the
file-
disclosure
done that,
Oh
form.
my
right.
God, I
It-
file it all the time for everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like we file it, there's no direct payment to us. It's all through the town clerk, but we are approving a budget that
I
includes.
understand
Getting it
completely.
signed.
Oh, I never even thought of that. Okay, yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, so we'll use last year's form and update it and get everybody a copy.
Okay, yeah, we just fill it out. I know, it's just we're not getting it right.
Yeah, so, that being said, Dave,
Oh,
you're
nice.
forward.
Yeah,
That's,
that was
That's
nice.
160.
that's 160,
So I'm gonna pass out 162.
half out 162.
Okay,
How many do you have?
I think 5.
Oh.
Is it 5?
It is,
Six.
there's 5, there's 5. No,
What's it,
Right,
6?
so
six,
this one.
you're right.
6,
Yeah, 4 in the 160s and then the 2 in the 290s.
the last 4 are pretty,
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
there's-
pretty straightforward, easy peasy.
162 and 162.
Thank you.
And this is elections.
Election.
This is the elections, and this is,
Oh, it's going down.
Well,
well,
because we
only
only have one
election.
election.
Oh,
We don't have a state election that we have to do, or a,
federal.
federal
yeah.
election.
And
yeah.
fiscal year 25, that really isn't an accurate,
It was what was budgeted,
yes.
okay.
Okay, what's that
Now,
called for?
let's, we have to revisit it, we have new members. Last year, when we got through the budget, Eric proposed that we try to level out the elections budget on the operating budget every year. So we voted in a special town meeting article or an annual town meeting article to put $20,000 or $22,000 into an account that can be used for elections. So like this year, and if you look at the BVA in 162, you'll see that we're at 167% used on that BVA line. So we have overexpended that $8,000 because we had so many elections and there were so many payments.
So when Eric forecasted, he didn't take that into account.
Well,
Well,
he-
yeah.
Go ahead.
So today, I met with the assistant accountant and we went over the numbers.
Mhm.
And some of that was early voting costs for the primary and the presidential, so we took it out of, I have a presidential account that we can take things from, because that gets reimbursed from the state.
Oh.
And then we also took some out of
The special town.
the
Article.
special article. So right now that on the BVA, it's like $5,300 negative. It's now like $117 negative. Because we
Because we got some reimbursement.
haven't gotten the reimbursement.
yet.
Oh, we have not.
No, we haven't gotten that yet. I think that I have a meeting tomorrow and then we fill out the forms by the end of the month. And
And,
then who knows when we get it.
but the other part is that with the special, the money that was in the special, some of that will be transferred in.
Yeah, because we also had the extra election in November.
Oh.
And
Right.
that money came out of the special.
I assumed all the override elections also are part of this cost. Is that true?
Was the override in
We-
fiscal year 20?
We
it
had
was
one in
basically-
July, didn't we?
No, that was June. It was June.
It was
We-
June, right?
Right, we had
Yeah,
two last year. The first one was part of the annual town election, and the second was in June because it fit the 60-day window
I
from
think
the
June
town meeting.
11th, I want to say.
Yeah, I think it was. So that fell into FY 24, not FY
Okay.
25.
Oh,
But we had the
my.
one in November for
Right,
Right.
selectmen.
So we had one in July or August,
We had a
We had a
special
special
town
town
meeting.
special town
In the
meeting.
trash. Oh, no, that was in October.
And that one's not
It was
in
like
this,
September.
especially the town meetings are not in this
It started
budget.
Yes,
October
it is.
1st.
It is.
had-
Yes.
It had to
Yeah.
be earlier.
Yeah.
yeah, so that,
Oh, I never thought of that because that could have come out of
yeah,
that money and then I'd be
mm,
right on target.
that's another, yeah, and you'd have money for the annual town election coming up. Okay,
No.
so that's,
Yeah,
Yeah.
not in the payroll account.
okay. So that's a little bit of FY 25, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, that'll get balanced, but as we go forward into next year.
Yeah.
The only thing scheduled at this point is
Is the annual
the annual town meeting in April of 2027.
town election.
Oh, the election takes place there,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
There is no,
And that's
Yeah.
it, nothing in the fall?
no
Um,
state, no?
just town meeting, but that costs us like $135
Mm.
unless there's something controversial and we have to have a police officer there, but usually it's not, so.
I did put together a little spreadsheet of what years.
Oh,
and-
okay.
And even fiscal years, are we gonna have the state elections, with the primaries, because, and I listed them all separately, presidential primaries, because on those years, it falls into the first half. of the
Yeah.
fiscal year. Yeah, it's the first half of the calendar year.
Yeah.
So it's in one fiscal year, but the presidential election
Yeah,
falls in the,
and
in the next.
and the
fiscal year.
state primary falls in the next.
So I have
Yeah,
a
Right,
question
yeah,
about
so-
that, moving forward. And this is probably hypothetical, but whoever's in charge of elections, are they asking you your feedback on all those, remember, early voting versus, 2 weeks of early voting to see if that was worthwhile financially? No? Okay.
No, not really.
No, but the numbers that they present and they talk about all the time, I don't think it's going anywhere. It's state law now that.
Oh, it's a law. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have to.
Another
have-
unfunded mandate.
Well,
No,
it's
that's
funded
the one.
right now.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
well,
funded
but-
right now, that's the reimbursement.
never
Stay
know.
tuned.
Yeah.
It will become unfunded like
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the other things,
So,
like
yeah.
the auto mark is now an unfunded mandate and.
Really?
Yeah, they don't pay for that anymore.
Is that how it works with the state? They tell you they're gonna and then they don't?
Yeah, well, that's what the schools are.
Yeah, that's why the schools
Yeah,
are
that's
all,
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
Same,
No,
No,
but
but it's the same
I mean, better to know than
Yeah.
not
Same
know.
thing.
So the dropping or the, yeah, going from 8,000 to 3,000 for the year is because that number is gonna be low.
Yeah,
The
that's-
number of elections is lower.
And we won't have any in-person early voting. We'll have vote by mail, but not,
Oh,
person.
that's what I was,
yeah.
in person, yeah.
So that's why that's dropped down so far.
Right, and that's stated as long as it's, does the. do the
Oh,
select-
everything drops because of it, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I
does the
see.
select board need to vote on no mail-in or early voting or?
They don't have to vote, they have to opt in for in-person early voting and opt out of vote by mail.
Okay.
So,
And the vote by mail is for the town election.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and I won't ask them to opt out. I did last year.
Mhm.
For the annual, because it was going to get confusing, and even for the special, because you had the primary ballots going out, and then you would
Mhm.
have, before those came back, you'd be sending out other ballots, and people
And
would get
you
them
could-
all
I
mixed
can
up, and you
imagine,
don't wanna open up a ballot that's for another election, because once we open it, it's for that election, and
Right.
yes, yeah,
Okay,
So-
so that was, yeah, I remembered we had opted out.
yeah. So,
Once,
but for a regular year, I wouldn't
Yeah.
opt out.
Okay. Okay, so it looks like it drops in half is.
For the expense worksheet, I dropped down
Yeah.
a good part of it, except for the maintenance repair, because we have the pole pads, which
Yeah.
will not be coming out of ARPA funds this year.
Oh,
It did last year, so I had to add that back in, and that's about $1,200.
oh,
What is that phone again?
maintenance for pole
The software
pads,
licenses, is it?
third
And
line.
Updates to any software on
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
In general, I mean, right now, it's a pretty reliable device. So,
Right, right, we were able to purchase the cloud portion of it, which made a huge difference.
Okay, you
Yeah.
tried it out?
So that made, yeah, we had it for the presidential, and it made a big difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That's-
That's nice when
Hmm.
it works.
So when a plan comes together, you don't have to walk between them and try to.
Yeah.
Try to connect it.
What kind of things are in the other line that's going, I mean, last year it was 2,000, now you're dropping it down to 1,000.
Okay, which one?
Last one.
Last one with the number
Oh.
on the worksheet.
So the other is food for the election workers. Other would be the, any office supplies that's for
For the
elections would come out of there.
Okay,
is that different than the office supplies up
Yeah.
above? Okay.
Yeah,
But, yeah, okay, and because that's zero, in 25 and zero in 26.
where's that?
At the top line,
Top line.
the first one,
Oh.
office supply.
I don't really, if you look on the, BVA, there's no office supplies line item there. It's other,
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
I love all that.
yeah, so that's what comes out of there.
Oh, so it's really office supplies
And food.
and food.
And food and
Keep it-
okay.
keep
And
it-
you're cut in
voting
half because you only have
stickers.
one.
Mm.
And the
Oh,
other
stickers,
stick.
voting stickers, that's
Yeah.
what, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that
comes out of there.
Yeah, yeah.
Do we have to provide those?
Yeah.
People
No,
want them.
we don't.
Okay,
But some
But when
people,
you don't have them,
it's an
people want them.
incentive, yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah,
I think
people
it's
get
nice.
upset.
okay.
She loves
I was a
them.
big component of
I
that this
think
year.
you're a pain.
I know, but it's nice
I
to
do
give,
too.
nice to give them something, you know what I mean?
No, they put them right on.
Yeah, and
They
they were
do.
paid,
Well,
they
yeah,
were
they
cheap,
do.
wasn't
They
like those
do.
nice buttons, they were like, hey, I still have it on my phone in my mirror.
Hmm.
I'm one of those, I like stickers.
Oh, now I know what to get to.
And so the labor worksheet is all zero because there's not really full-time people, is that right? Is that why? Paid-
Yes, exactly,
Okay,
exactly, because if I did that, I'd have to.
Oh,
list
you'd
out
have,
like
you'd have a
50 people
10-page, You'd have a
And it's
10-page
not
spreadsheet,
guaranteed what they're gonna make.
right?
Similar to what, fire department does for on-call. You
Yeah.
can't list every on-call
Yeah.
firefighter.
Yeah,
So
Right.
they just put a
and
line
some
for
people work
on-call.
full days, sometimes it's a half a
Sure.
day, sometimes
Okay.
the counter, it's
Right.
all different
Right,
rates.
Different
that's
rates for
fine.
different functions.
Yeah,
Okay, Sam, sorry, I know I had sent these Excel spreadsheets to you, I don't know if you had a chance to look at them. Any questions, from what you've heard?
Are
you talking to Sam?
I was talking to Sam.
Sam,
you,
Yeah,
I guess not.
I guess not.
okay, all right. Probably watching TV.
it's watching them.
right. Okay,
Should we move on to 163?
let's move on to 163.
Okay,
Okay, 163 is the registrar,
registrars.
Registrar.
and that was level funded. Because we were told no stipend.
No stipend increases.
Yeah,
So that's again, voting?
well, it's the registrars, they handle the
Registrars.
registrations for new voters.
Thank you.
Oh,
Reading through
And
it.
if we have a, recount or anything, they have to be there to oversee it.
And if there's any challenges, they,
Yeah,
they're
and they
judge
sign
control.
the petitions and the nomination papers
I guess.
to certify them.
So we have the three,
Those three, and then I get paid,
there's a little bit for you to tell on to another page. but,
yeah,
It's about that.
that's, do they get paid all at once, Kathy?
no, it's monthly,
Monthly?
yeah.
Any other questions? 163, the registrars. I'm being heard. We'll move to 164. Which is the street listing.
Town clerk, street listing, yeah.
Invaluable, right?
And it's only the worksheet because there's only one number on it. It went up $100 because of printing costs and paper costs have gone up. And postage actually, I forgot to tell you that. So this includes the census as well as the actual street listing.
So it includes the census?
Yeah, because the street listing is pulled from the census.
And the second page here goes with the registrar.
Oh, that's right.
Goes with the 163.
Well, 24, okay, so this is, so you're saying
164.
164 is a one-page
It's a one
Yeah.
page,
item.
Yeah, and the second
The
page should
second
go with the
page goes
registrar.
with the registrar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The
Oh.
244.92 goes with the registrar.
yes.
Got
Yeah,
it.
because that's
Okay.
Kathy's stipend for registrars.
What was it, 163 is registrar?
Yes,
Yes, yes,
okay, so this basically is just a one-pager.
yeah,
One page
Yeah.
of one line, it includes the street listings plus postage and the census. form.
So this one, this year it was, okay, this year it was 5,200, and then next year you're saying it's gonna go to 53.
yeah,
Because of the increase in
Okay,
paper printing and postage.
okay,
And right-
PPP.
Yeah, right now it's at 44%. It's kind of like, we didn't work with the registrars, but they're exactly 50% because we're half a year through.
yeah.
right,
Numbers. If you're looking for numbers that work, that works exactly. On the registrars.
okay,
Okay, now, because page 6 is here, there was a prior year bill that was paid, that's why you see it, it's not going to be on this year's.
which one?
Just a little further down, it's still, it's in 165, they gave the number.
65.
It says chief clerk, 160 prior year income. So
Okay,
that's a bill that carries over from FY '24.
Okay, that was paid off.
That was paid off, yeah.
and it's
But
done.
okay, and you're saying, so that does not come into the
It doesn't
budget?
come into the budget for this year. This was,
768.
I wonder what that was for. I don't remember.
Okay.
we probably voted it in,
Prior income
July.
limit.
Oh, because we encumbered the money because we hadn't received the bill yet.
that's right.
There's something, but I
It's
forget
true,
what it
yeah.
was.
Yeah, the bill can't come.
It might have been
It's like,
for a
it's
police
a,
officer.
it's an
if I
accounts payable thing. It's
Right.
not like some- when you have an accounts payable and you carry it over to the next year, you have to pay it. And they can, if it's really, that would be an FY 24 bill, you can carry the money over from the FY 24, pay it in FY 25, but you've got to note it as an encumbrance.
Oh, my God.
And you have to have an actual purchase before the end of the year. You can't,
Right,
Yeah.
You can't have, you can't save FY 24 money and pay an FY 25 bill.
right.
I remember that from, federal government works the same way.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
So any additional questions on the town clerk street listings? Then being heard, we're gonna jump to number seven.
Burial agent?
Burial agent?
I don't know, it says
Burial?
burial, but I don't know how,
Burial,
Should
burial
be.
agent.
Burial, like
Like buried.
cemetery?
I don't know.
Well, somebody's gonna be in charge of burying you, I guess.
Is that what it is?
I don't know.
I get out there with my shovel and I start digging every day.
It's not cemetery
Every
in
time I
Providence.
call you.
No, it's,
No,
But you
it's
get
actually
paid for
Board of Health. Board of Health assigned it to the town clerk because we have access to the online portal.
what do you do?
So it's for, you can't move a body without a permit. So I just track the permits basically.
Wow.
So you're saying if I drop dead tonight,
No,
my wife's gotta get a
yeah.
permit to haul me out of the
That's right,
house?
yeah.
Really?
The fire department just doesn't come and
No,
haul me
they'll
away?
come and take you, but
Yeah.
they need a
God
permit.
only knows where they're taking you to, though. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
Well, at that point, I don't know if I care.
So,
Leave her with an extra bill.
so is the 151 an accumulation of all the permits, or is that what you
Oh, yeah,
get?
that's what I get.
$150 to do that, to track it?
There's quite a few.
That's not a lot of money.
No, it's been just, I think it went up from like 147 to 151.
2 years ago. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, what a
No,
jump.
We were
Yeah.
doing raises.
That's for the year, right? It's
4% on
not
all
the-
the-
So is this like a stipend that's paid to you as opposed to, this is not a cost that you
No,
incur?
it's a stipend paid to me.
Okay.
So I get like
It's
$12.
Yeah.
Let me think.
$12 a month?
Yeah,
little more than-
$12 a month, something like that.
Would
Well, I
take it
thought you were gonna say
$144.
$12 per permit.
I thought
No,
so too.
no.
So this is a stipend for you to basically track that the permits have been filed.
And we have to give them a number, and then after we do the burial permit, then it slides over to an actual death certificate. So it's all in the process. And those are only for people who die in town, and I deal with the burial permits.
They're
If
down
they-
in town or buried in town.
Died in town.
If they died in the hospital in Leominster, you wouldn't deal with it.
Correct. Leominster would deal with the burial permit, and they send the death certificate to me. And I have to register the death certificate,
And you don't get a second for.
and I don't get a second.
That's,
Oh, you
that's,
don't?
No,
that's normal.
that's all
town clerk
part of
work.
the job,
That's town clerk job.
but burial agent is extra.
Who knew?
$50 a year, that's a
Who knew
year.
that? Yes,
Yeah.
I
Oh, wait till
have
you
one
see
of
the next
those.
one. That one's even better.
As I said in the beginning, where you get introduced to some things that you never knew go on.
Existed, yeah,
Go on, so.
yeah.
So now we have parking clerk.
So now,
Parking.
So now that really
The
goes with
parking
burial,
lot.
doesn't it?
Parking
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Can I talk
So-
about outside of Main Street by Cliffs across the street?
so no, it's for parking tickets. So I have to log all the parking tickets in to a database.
Where do we have,
Where do we get a parking ticket?
yeah, I was gonna,
So we have a snow ban that runs from November
November
1st
1st.
to April 1st, I
April 1st.
believe.
Where's that?
Or Main
All
Street.
over Main Street.
All over town. You
All
can't
over
park on
town,
the road
actually.
because if a
Don't you
snowstorm
see the
happens.
sign, the flashing sign of the harbor lights that sometimes says parking ban or something
Oh, yeah.
every once in a while.
Yeah.
They'll say no
I don't
overnight
know where someone
parking.
would wanna
So,
park.
but don't, doesn't,
Well,
who
there's
gives the
some
ticket out?
wide
The
streets in
police
Timberlake
officers.
Park, but
Have they ever given that?
Just-
I mean,
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah,
They give 'em up.
yeah.
Mhm.
And if you park in handicap parking and you don't have a placard or.
Oh, yeah.
plate,
Okay,
Then you get fined.
So,
for that.
so the police hand out the ticket?
Yeah.
And it gets paid to you?
Yeah.
Oh, because you're the collector of parking
Yeah.
tickets.
Yeah.
For $70 a year?
Mm.
Kathy.
That's right up there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want me to give it up, I will.
Right. But
That will help the
somebody's gotta-
budget.
Somebody's gotta do it.
You gotta- Yeah, right,
Hmm.
yeah. There'd be no
Yeah.
increases.
And that's the thing, it's kind of like you've got the capacity, or not the capacity, but the function already working for collecting funds.
Right, exactly, and that's
So,
why.
and-
Oh, so
we're
it's kind of
open
clerical, yeah.
Versus going to the police department,
And
'cause-
setting up a whole way to
Yeah.
take.
Right,
money
I mean, it
there.
makes sense,
And-
but geez, $70.
But it's a thank you for, it's a light dinner out.
I like
Whatever,
dinner.
like, at least it's today, it is a very
They
light
buy
dinner.
Dunkin' Donuts once a month, not Steve's mine.
Right, right, and
Or
that's about
maybe
it.
if you open your tea shop, we can go
Oh,
there
I'm
first.
working on that, I'm working on that. Trust me. I'll give you complimentary.
Okay, so that,
okay.
any additional questions?
Especially since.
Do we get
Yeah, so each section has its own total. There's not like one total for all
For the
these
town
together.
clerk.
Correct.
Yeah.
It-
Right.
We don't have a place here where we total
Everything.
everything for the department.
No,
Okay.
No, because they have the different segments.
Yeah,
And they'll
yeah.
wind up in there separately, so that's, again, pieces of it, we need to make sure that, what's in the budget, it's there, and, make sure that we
Now,
get,
do we take a vote
an
on
interest.
this?
we normally take a vote, but
Okay.
because we
Oh.
have not, submitted,
The
the conflicts of
disclosures.
interest forms, I'm suggesting we hold off.
I see.
Are we
So
gonna, are we gonna have a budget summit this
We
year?
will have a budget summit, but if we can handle everything up front, and, and we have no questions with the budget, that may keep it to a shorter period.
Okay,
So,
So I would suggest we give her back all our paper clips so that
Oh, yeah.
Save
sure
on
have to
office
find out.
supplies?
Yeah, good thinking, Dave.
We can do that.
I mean, they're all special.
And
products,
I
mean,
will tell
I
you,
leave them on, so.
they made me a supply person one year in my office, and it was the end of the year, so we had to spend the money, all the money. So the way the federal government, you go to a certain site to buy supplies.
Yeah.
And you have to, they want paper clips, but the way it works is when you go to the supply agency, you have a minimum that you have to spend.
Yeah.
And it's all computerized, and unless you spend it, it doesn't let you go to the next thing.
oh, for heaven's
So, and I was new and nobody ever really told me
course,
how to
yeah,
do
yeah,
this.
Yeah.
So I ended up spending $25 on little bags of paper clips that cost like 25 cents. So
$25 you spent?
well, I had to because it said I couldn't go
You needed to
anywhere.
get the
I had to get,
They bought
So-
paper clips.
so, well, the people wanted paper clips, but I only wanted like, a box.
One box.
Yeah,
Of
one box.
100. Instead, I got like 10,000 paper clips.
I think you got
when I
one more,
first started
you got
working
one
here,
more
I
in
didn't
there.
realize,
the red,
I wanted adding shingles paper.
Oh, yeah.
So,
And I ended up ordering
We're good.
way more than we needed,
Forever.
and I think we still have some.
so anyways, they were never gonna run out of paper clips ever. They
Yeah.
probably still have them.
Right.
All right, so I'm just gonna add this to my reference book.
Are
we gonna get new ones?
I think you can hang on to them.
Okay.
If they don't get put into the new book, then, we can add them. But now Kathy, are you gonna update?
Do you want me, yeah, I can update, actually, it's only 160, right?
I think it was only-
Yeah, the couple of sheets on 160.
Yeah,
Oh, no, there was one,
There's
oh, no,
one.
the expense was, the expense was,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can update that and send it out.
It'd be one.
Yeah, it was only 160, 162,
I think everything else.
everything else.
Yeah.
We didn't
Okay.
have any changes.
Yeah. Okay, yep, I can do that.
That's great.
That's why I brought my red pencils.
Oh,
I was gonna say the state mandates red pencils on certain things.
oh.
So you
There we
gotta,
go.
We gotta start figuring out how to tell the state to go to hell.
Okay,
We're not doing
all
this.
right.
No, we gotta get the state to give us the money.
I
But they
know.
lie
Well,
about it.
I
They
know
say
they're not
they're
gonna do
going
that,
and
that's
they
why I'm saying.
Yeah.
tell them.
Well, I liked your idea of getting the caravan and getting
Oh, I think
every
that's the only
hundred
way
and
to do
twenty
it.
towns that have been
I think that's
The
the only way to do
losers.
that.
I
the
know.
losers.
Don't-
There's a meeting, when is that meeting,
Yeah,
Mary Jane?
It's,
21st, no,
the 21st or the 23rd
of,
January, and it's a
Yeah.
collaborative meeting with Margaret Scarsdale and other people. But if it's gonna be a talk about it, talk about it.
Yeah.
she only talks. There's no
We gotta,
action.
we have to take action.
Right, that's how we take action. We're not doing it.
So is she having a talk?
yeah, she is.
She's
over-
having a
Yeah,
summit.
but I can't remember what day it is, is it the 19th?
I could
Oh,
go on
no,
her
that was
page
Sunday.
and look.
Well, that's what made me think.
Do you know where she's gonna have it?
Groton, West Groton Senior Center, I believe,
Oh,
Okay, same place as last time.
right? I've written it down, Mary Jane.
I get her, but,
No, I didn't.
You didn't.
Oh, no, I know.
Well, this,
I might have it
this
in my-
is good, so this is a good learning thing, so for the next set,
For the next-
we'll, know how to look at this and look at this, and
As
then,
long as it's,
yeah, so
does
this is
it,
good.
does everybody have this, yeah, they all have the same format, right?
right, yeah. There may be
Turn it down.
little differences, but, so
Right hand.
I wanna thank you for coming in.
All right, well,
being with us,
thanks.
Being our first.
Thank you for
guinea
making it
pig,
easy.
I'm the guinea pig.
Yeah.
And having it ready and,
Yeah, sorry
Right.
for the
Yeah.
confusion.
no confusion.
No,
that was-
this-
Yeah, I'll update that and
January
I'll send it to
19th.
you, Dawn, okay?
She-
Okay,
It's
and
a
I
Sunday.
still use. Do I use,
January
January
19th.
19th is a Sunday.
the
I think so.
capital
It
planning
is a Sunday.
spreadsheet?
Oh, yeah,
Okay, if there's
Yeah.
something else.
What time is that meeting?
that would be great.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
At
Have a
1
good
o'clock?
night.
Thank you.
Good day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
17th. I don't see the time.
I'm sorry, just making a note, so I don't.
Good.
Get that.
No,
Okay,
I'll find out.
moving on to the agenda, and Sam, again, we have a hard copy in the room, but it's part, it was an email, Mary Jane had put together a draft, newsletter that we could either mail out on the blast or post, or actually mail out and post on the finance part of the website, so, that is, yeah, that's the next document in the package.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My draft of
Yeah, the draft is in.
the draft of the transparency
Yeah.
newsletter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would like to put what happened tonight, but maybe I'll wait until we have another department.
Okay.
And I'm gonna print them out. And I'm gonna put them at Hannaford's, McNabb's, and Evans.
So how that's what my question was when I was reading that. So you're just gonna do like, just print it? and
Yeah,
put
because
that-
I just want it to be like one page like that.
How many are you gonna print out for each place? Just one?
Well, no, I thought I would print out like probably 50 to 100 per, I mean, there's 8,000 people to vote, or 6,000 people to
6,000.
vote,
Registered, yeah.
registered.
Mm,
I know that we could put it on social media, which probably we should. But I also think that it's
Not everybody
important
goes
that we
to it.
have
I was
something
gonna
in
say,
our
maybe
hand
we should start small, get feedback, see if there's anything else.
We just have with like
150.
50,
at each place.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
And
it
if they take it or you go back next week and they're still all there, you know. that-
I understand, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and if they get feedback, and maybe that's what we should do is have any
Little,
feedback.
little line of
Okay.
feedback or something.
Okay,
Yeah,
and maybe I'll put one at the post office too, because they're pretty good about
Pretty, yeah.
letting us post stuff.
right.
I just think the sooner we do this,
Would you put it up on social media?
I would, but I don't do that. I'm not a social
I
media
know I'm not
person.
either, but you know what?
You're to the wrong.
I could, well, if you, I'll send it to I'll ask my daughter.
Okay,
Because a lot of times, I don't even know what she does, but she's on some social media
Where she
from
can
the
get it.
town, because she'll email me like, what about this? Wait a minute, I heard about this, you're on this board, so go find out what this.
Yeah, there's a
is."
couple of different town
sites,
pages
Sites,
on
yeah.
Facebook that,
okay.
that people post stuff to,
So,
and it usually degenerates into people yelling at each
But
other.
Screaming
that's
at
why
each
I
other.
just
I know,
can't
yeah.
deal with that. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just so
So-
counterproductive.
but,
Mhm.
Oh, I read
And
through it, but I never comment.
Yeah,
see, I don't even go on there, she is.
Right,
real-
and that's the piece, it's kind of like if we don't want feedback, it's kind of like if it's posted up, right?
Yeah,
I don't know that you want. the
This is
social-
not to start any dialogue.
No,
This is to give them
Right.
information to think about.
Yeah, and that's,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
The only thing that would make, that might make, and I'm not saying we should do this either. The only thing that might make sense on social media is to say, we've placed copies
Oh,
of this.
Good
here,
idea.
here,
Yeah,
here,
yeah,
and here.
yeah, yeah. The location.
Don't even say anything about
The
what's in it.
library-
Right, yeah. I'll ask
Library
Stacy
slash
for sure.
senior
No, I'll
center.
definitely go to the library, and senior citizen.
Right,
But
but
that's a good idea.
That's the only,
yeah.
the only thing
That's a great
that
idea.
might make sense to post on social media is where you can find
Find
it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a great
that,
idea.
that is a good idea.
And I just, FYI, I'm not including the cartoon.
I like the cartoon,
Well,
but
you
yeah, right.
relate to the
Well, I
cartoon.
relate to the,
yeah,
I do relate to the
I had that
cartoon.
on going, it's kind of like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cute though.
It's cute, yeah, right, you don't need to include it, but for me, because I work for the Department of Defense for so long, that's like,
So now, Dawn, how do you want me to work this? Should I work with Carol through the minutes, or should I bring it in and say, do we vote on each time, or can it just be,
We're gonna be meeting on a regular basis at least,
okay,
once a week coming up, so maybe it makes sense to look at it and.
take
then-
it from the, because it's not gonna be our opinion, it's just gonna be what happened.
It's- Right,
Yeah.
yeah, similar to the minutes, but
It's similar to minutes,
but
okay.
but better, this is better.
different.
But,
All right, we'll see how the first one
Yeah,
works out. I'll
right,
work
and
it
then-
up and have it ready at the next meeting, and you can say yes or no.
And the other, then I will also get it posted on the finance
Website. Okay, that would be
website.
helpful, yeah.
So it's kind of like, so
this is,
I'll double check my login and see if I can log in. Because in order to get a change, you have to log into one account that's been assigned.
Oh,
I think you knew that. It's kind of like we talked about.
For the HTC that I'm getting, I've got to deal with them, yeah.
Yeah. kind of,
Yeah. I just thought it was, I
yeah.
just thought it
No,
was helpful.
It's good. It gets it
No,
out
it
there
is.
in a different form if people are out about other places. Maybe we should
So I'll
have
take the cartoon off this one,
Okay, yeah,
and I will,
Yeah.
take the word draft off and get it out there. How would we get feedback? How would we get feedback?
if you want, we can tell them to write it and mail. We have a mailbox downstairs, and that just means we get it there. Or they can,
Can we do a QR code and put it to the FinCom, or do you not want it on that site?
I'm probably,
let me see if we can get a generic FinCom. I don't think we have a FinCom email address on the website.
Oh, right, it's gotta go to the web. Well,
It's
That would
gotta
be the
go to
town
an email
website.
address
Yeah.
if we're feeding back, but,
we don't have the,
we don't have a generic email address, and we don't have a town employee working with us, so we could set up a different email address,
okay.
than our personal email addresses, because I don't think we wanna come.
Oh, no, we don't want it in person. No, that's not good.
I like the mailbox idea downstairs. We have,
We do have a mailbox.
is it something that they have to actually put it in the US mail to
They
us, or can they drive over here and just drop it off in the box?
The box is in a locked room downstairs.
I bet they could
but-
give it to the
I think you
town
can
clerk's
give it-
office, and she would put it in.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that could be,
Well,
That,
that's-
I would suggest to begin with, let's start with that,
Okay.
because that way you're not feeling if stamps are going up, you know what I'm
I
saying?
know, that's.
Yeah,
what
you
I'm
don't wanna
thinking.
get-
Yeah.
yeah.
You can say bring feedback to the town clerk's office and tell them this is for the FinCom, whatever, and obviously we'd have to let them know that they might be getting some of that, so they don't say, I have no idea what you're
They want
talking
a
about.
stipend from us.
Well, I guess once it goes out there and it hits,
They give 'em a
the
coffee.
town, people who are on Facebook will probably comment on it.
Mhm. They-
Yeah,
they
You know what I
might-
mean? It might,
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
might generate its own,
It might,
Yeah.
yeah, so
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
some busybody will take a picture of it and post it on there.
Yeah,
and they
I'm
have-
sort of banking on that a little bit.
it's kinda- and-
Yeah,
and
Which is
while-
fine.
Yeah, while we're on the newsletter, one of the things that we had the discussion about was the cost for your terms that's in the MMA.
yes, I saw that, that was nice, yeah.
So it didn't come through in the two columns. So the first, I did a first file with just the term names
Mhm.
on them.
Oh,
Because
yes.
it's easier to go through to say, oh, because we were talking about the common ones and the uncommon ones. So this is our way to go through and mark common and uncommon.
Oh, on the list.
On a list, it's kind of like, because there's some that I haven't even used in my 4 years. So
Where did
it's
I
kind of,
put that?
you printed the whole thing.
I did.
Very
print
good.
the whole thing.
I just did a sample.
Oh,
I did a sample,
Yeah.
one page of each.
I just,
Yeah.
That's okay, it's kind of, I'm gonna ask for feedback, I mean, I tried to electronically bring it in, but the format didn't work, and it brought it in.
I was just looking for it, so, okay, I liked it, so, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if
That's-
nothing
that's
else,
okay.
it will,
Yeah, it's a quick form, you don't have to
I
look
don't
it
have
up
the
on the phone, and you can mark it up.
it is like it.
Oh, it is?
But I thought this would, and if nothing else, we can use this, go through them, highlight the ones we wanna use, start with, and add them to the bottom of the newsletter.
That's what I was thinking to put, just one or
These
two.
are, our- yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these are our terms,
Right.
financial terms of the newsletter.
I think that would be great.
Yeah.
Anything that we can give them information
Mhm.
to acquaint them, make them feel comfortable with what they're doing.
And
See,
again,
this
I
is-
haven't heard from the webmasters, so I'll have to follow up with them and see why it's not posted on the website.
But you only get to see, right, to the current year.
Only in this, but if you look at the file that was mailed, it goes all the way
Oh,
to
okay.
yield is the last.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And why I remember that? Because it was the last one. You know, it was on a separate page by itself, and so I deleted a couple of blank lines and snuck it up.
I know you didn't do a definition for every one of those.
Oh, there are. Everything that's here
Which one?
is in the book. Oh,
No, there isn't, because I did a,
you
Terms.
did a compare? I'll have to do a rework up then.
there was one or two,
Okay.
one or two, not much.
Well, maybe he didn't
miss
like those words, so he left them off. Oh, here it
No,
is. It goes on and on, yeah.
I took the Word document, put it into Excel, and then
Oh.
copied out
one.
all the individual words.
See, I just found it, I said, oh, some of this stuff I knew, but a lot of it I didn't know.
Right, yeah,
Um,
it's good, it's a good,
So it was helpful to me, so.
Yeah.
But who knew about the cemetery?
How about the cemetery, perpetual care? Care, is that
Here,
what it's called?
yeah, here at gravesite.
right,
Who
and,
knew?
yeah, and we may hear when we get to cemetery and parks,
Oh,
that the cemetery perpetual care is there.
I wonder if my daughter will do that. I have a plot at Hillside Cemetery.
Okay. Sam, I haven't heard anything from you, you're on mute, but if you had any questions or input into newsletter or the other.
John, there was one thing that did get left off in deletions was the Shover Valley check.
I was gonna put that under correspondence,
Okay,
oh,
all right.
so,
Oh, what was that you
okay, so,
left off?
I was gonna bring it up under correspondence,
Mhm.
Okay, not sure.
Neshoba Valley, they
Oh.
sent us a Christmas card, that was in the mailbox. I can share it.
Oh, that was nice. How fun.
Dr. Pigeon sent
Dr.
it.
Pigeon.
Yeah.
The
And,
best.
there is a breakfast. I sent an email link out to everybody. They invite, they do an all towns presentation to finance committees, all boards and board of selectmen, to get a free breakfast at the Neshoba Valley.
Cooked by the
Very-
students.
it's very-
by the students.
It's
Yeah, they're
wonderful.
But it's very
Yeah.
interesting, very informative.
Very,
Okay.
she's,
And then-
Did you
she's got a
send
great,
that?
I
Deliver.
did.
Oh, I guess I'll have to go
Yeah,
relook
you
my
gotta look
emails
at it.
from you.
Carol, it's really good. It's early though, right? 8 o'clock? is it?
Friday, it's a
Um,
Friday morning.
Friday
too.
morning.
Are you gonna be able to go?
Oh, no, I gotta work.
Yeah.
I still have to work. You gotta remember.
I know, I work too, but can't you like go in late?
I think it was 9:30 breakfast, so you can.
Oh, was
get
it
there at
9:30?
Oh, that's late.
But we have to
Okay.
Well, it is,
RSVP.
because they have to get the students in.
Yeah,
Get 'em
no,
started.
I know, because,
Oh,
because
oh.
my daughter, one of my daughters graduated from Neshoba Tech, and actually I lived like a mile behind.
Oh, behind
Neshoba
it,
Okay,
Tech.
when you were in Chelmsford?
Westford, yeah, when I
Westford,
lived
yeah.
in Westford,
That's right.
so,
It was Westford.
and they do a good job,
Mhm.
Well, I'm gonna go.
cooking,
Yeah.
so.
I'm
it-
going.
Oh, what day is it?
Friday,
Friday
Friday
the
the
31st.
31st.
The
But we do
31st?
have to let them know, we have to.
Yeah, there's an RSVP link in the email. And
Oh,
I
okay.
have forwarded that out.
I'll go.
Um,
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna change my platelet appointment.
Yeah, I can't
See
go
what
on
they
that
get.
day.
Okay,
So
but they
January
do
31st.
serve regular, you can have. you can
They do
lunches,
lunch.
yeah. They
Yeah,
do
you can
lunch,
go
they
lunch,
do
yeah.
appointments.
Hi.
Who's here? Can't find that link. Oh, here it is, right here.
Finish over.
Yeah, got it.
Can you RSVP for me too while you're there?
Oh, yeah.
And Carol.
RSVP, yeah,
Carol.
So
RSVP,
you want me
all
to
of
do
us.
3?
How
Yeah.
about Dawn? You
Dawn, are you gonna
Yeah,
go?
yeah.
I'll do 4.
Dave, you can't go?
I cannot.
Yes, to work.
I'm sorry,
Sam?
but
Yeah, Sam's on the phone.
My wife won't let me retire yet.
In the show,
Because you're
you
done.
say that every week. Every time we have a meeting, you say that.
it's kind of like, you'll
The poor
you'll
wife.
have to come in with one of the big blings they wear at hockey and basketball now, when it says I'm retired, when you get there.
9:30 a.m.
9:30
Right.
AM, and you can get there a little early, and let's see, which direction is that? That's the south, so it's on the south side of the building, but it sounds like you've been there, so. You
You know, over near where the dining hall is, in that,
I
to
did
go in there. That-
and where the dining hall is,
in the
okay.
old greenhouse.
Yeah,
Here, I'll find it.
You know where it is.
They have
It's
an,
somewhere in the back side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They
They don't have
always have a
Townsend
good
on
Christmas,
here.
craft fair.
Mhm.
Dawn,
yes,
Townsend's not on here.
No, it should be, I saw her.
okay, I'll take a look, I didn't look at it, I didn't click on it, I just.
It's got Westford, Elaine McDonald, I don't know where that is, Pepperell, Littleton, Air, Littleton, Pepper. Oh, these might be respondents, okay.
Okay,
So, all
yeah.
right, I'll do it for Carol, Dawn, and-
Similar to what you used, you can see who responded. and who
Okay.
didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take care of that. Will
Thank
you
you.
do that?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody. And now, are we in, anybody can say anything? What?
No, I skipped over, we skipped over the warrant articles.
How about the
Which-
question?
Because we were,
What about the question status of the
Um,
omnibus budget for
yeah,
FY
I
twenty-four?
left it there, the omnibus budget is the compilation of every department budget, we haven't seen it
We
yet.
haven't
so
seen that. yet.
Okay,
It's kind of like, so that's gonna be part of the big book. When
Okay.
we get the big budget book, it's gonna.
Okay.
Big budget.
okay.
It's very similar to the BBA, but
Oh,
it's about the FY 26, BBA is existing. So I had it in there, I wasn't sure if we were gonna have anything to.
Okay,
so could I just ask a question? I'm a little confused about, the ultimate mission of this committee.
Mhm.
Because I was reading your book,
Not my book, but.
well, not your
It's
book,
it's a
but,
reference book.
right, and in this, introduction, it says that the finance committee is supposed to present the budget, that's the job of the,
It depends town to town, it's all dependent on the bylaws of the town.
so I looked up the bylaws and I didn't see that,
It says the selectmen present the
oh,
budget.
it does in the specifics.
Why aren't the departments presenting their own budgets? They're the ones that have to defend it, and they're the ones that should present it. And this has only happened in the last, when I
Right,
first came to town, they were doing the,
They would do
budgeting.
line by line in the whole budget in the town meeting way back. It's kind of like I remember those long sessions. And then they started going through and then they had
I don't
the
think
proposal that was in the,
I don't think the selectmen should be the ones presenting. I think the department head should.
um,
And they should defend their budget if they have to.
I think they should be there for questions, because not all department heads are town residents. I mean, they can be there, but normally it's only townspeople, I believe, that present to the town. I mean, we can, and that's why the department heads do show up and they wear the visitor.
Well, I think if you read further down into that statement, it says basically who needs to be there is John Barrett and Kathy. Doesn't even say anything about the selectmen,
Well,
does it?
Oh, no, I don't have that page. I have just the handbook here.
Yeah.
And so we have in our bylaws that the selectmen will present, so we don't have to worry about presenting.
we don't need to, but, our presentation and what we do is review it and make a recommendation on.
I understand that,
Yeah,
but
do we
where
have
I'm
a
going with this is that, two pronged on this one. So I really believe that the townspeople should know who the department heads are. For that reason of vetting the whole budget thing, but also, if we watched the Board of Selectmen meeting the other night, Laura Schiffer must have said at least 5 times, if not more, that she wanted volunteers. But I don't think that you're gonna get volunteers if we don't have some kind of relationship between who's running the show and who's looking at it. And I just thought, well, maybe if the heads were there, at least there,
More present.
more present, I
Yeah.
guess.
More present to the town at gatherings like that.
Correct.
Okay.
Just
Yes.
food
No,
for thought.
And, yeah, no, I think it's a good thought. I mean, it's kind of like what you usually see is town boards there and some of the people, I know the treasurer shows up, to,
She comes all the time.
she
yeah.
comes all the time.
But I just don't think there's a dialogue,
Yeah, and again, everybody sends in their check for payment and it goes through.
Right,
Melissa, but,
right.
do they really know her? It's kind of like, we don't have that introduction. And going back to your newsletter, department head of the month.
Oh, I could, yeah, okay, yeah, okay, I like that idea.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
just-
okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
that gets
Yeah.
fell out, yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of, that's
Oh.
different.
Because we can only talk about it here, right?
Right.
I like that, Tom. Geez, maybe we can get pictures and everything.
Lots
To
of it.
photo up. Okay,
It's a thought, and we can, do more, because we have to talk to the department heads about sharing it, because,
right.
yeah.
Well, I'll start with the vocabulary and the point of it.
Right.
Okay, sounds good.
And again, just jumping back to the vocabulary, when we mentioned it on the subject. There were some things that maybe we want to put in, because you mentioned, like, we talk about STM and ATM all the time, but those definitions aren't in that.
The
list.
acronyms, which drive everyone nuts.
Right, so-
Yeah, nobody knows what anyone's saying.
Right.
Well, the thing is,
ABCD.
nobody will ask either.
And nobody will ask, which is better
Right.
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Or there'll be conversations amongst people in the audience trying to figure things out.
yeah, oh, no, yeah, we should definitely stick the acronyms in there.
Yeah, so acronyms plus.
I don't even know what they all are.
The term definitions. No, it's kind of like that as we run across them, we can.
And some acronyms mean different things.
Well, you have
Use the
different
same-
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
working for the Department of Defense, we only talk in acronyms.
no, it's kinda
But
like
different departments, I'd move to a different department and the
They all
acronym
different deal.
would be
this.
different.
Oh.
We would,
Totally different.
Oh,
it would
same
be
letters.
Same letters, but different.
So
Different.
are we ready to go to the warrant articles then?
I.
STM, what's STM?
special
Town
town meeting.
meeting.
It's out of
You know what?
context, kind of.
It is, it's kind of like, so we can go over the warrant articles. The warrant should have been posted this afternoon.
And when does it close? Because I think I forgot to put,
It's closed.
Oh.
It closed.
So we're out of luck.
I'll ask Nelson what he thinks.
Well, they're posted now too, so I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
Well, we might have even come under the selectmen's, because our budget was so small, we might have fallen under there. I'll find out.
Yeah,
If
find out
if
what
we don't, we don't.
Right. Oh, yeah.
It-
But we didn't spend it last year, so that means we lose it?
That's right.
Correct, because it's part of the operating budget.
Right.
But we have like 6 months we have 4 months to spend it?
If it's in the FY 25 budget, and I think it is.
It is.
You
It's
have-
definitely in the FY 25
Yeah,
budget.
you have
Oh,
definitely 4 months to do it or get an invoice in
we
the May
better
timeframe.
work fast then.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I'm on it. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was new for FY.
It was,
It was, yeah. So we had 6.
Yeah, we have to get those postcards out.
Okay, and, yeah, and I think it's under the Board of Selectmen. so-
I think it did come under the borders.
Just because you
Because it
didn't
was so
have any
little.
other, there was no
Lost, didn't it?
historic commission or anything, so. I think-
Nobody would say no, or they wouldn't notice it.
Probably, either one.
Okay, so this is the part of making recommendations as we will. at
Do I
annual
have-
town
I don't
meeting.
think I have.
Yeah, it
It's
should be.
it's the last 2 pages in there, but 3 pages, and I messed up
Okay.
on the copy, so we're gonna be bouncing from.
Okay, do we have an extra copy of that?
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
This is in the packet. Do you have a packet?
Yeah.
Do you want to get it?
Oh, is it a packet?
We did have an extra.
You didn't get one?
It wasn't complete, but
Oh,
That's
wait
it.
a minute,
You've
this
got part
is
of it
it,
right there.
right there, I see it, yep, Yeah.
last page is after the. BBA.
okay, yep,
Did you
I got it,
take your staple out, staple out?
yeah, so. I got it.
Okay, we all have it.
Okay. Sam, did you get a chance to look at the warrant articles?
No, I'm afraid I can't seem to find them on mine. I got a whole bunch of other things. I don't know the headlines.
The headline should be, I forwarded from, maybe I didn't forward it from,
It's on the main page of the town's website.
it's
is?
posted, it wasn't there earlier today, okay,
Usually now.
Stand now.
thank you.
Monthly report.
Yeah, let me try to send you an email.
Okay.
Oh, you found it?
The newsletter was nice. Terms extract, I didn't get a chance to read it. I brought it up and had to run away.
Yeah, no, that's okay, let's see.
That's it, Don. The other one's not it. We didn't get, did I get that one? Oh, wait, here, no,
No, I probably didn't.
yeah. No, okay.
Get it
But it's on the website if you want to.
Yeah.
Go on there.
Okay, so I'm sending it to you now, Nelson sent it later this afternoon, and I didn't see that I forwarded it, so I'll forward it out to everybody, but, it's very, it's what we have in front of us, so the first article, is to see if the town will vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $212.17 to pay 2 outstanding bills from FY 24.
Now, is Boundtree
Must be
a
a supply.
section?
Ambulance medical supplies.
Is that a company or is that?
No, the description underneath says the article is required to pay bills for the prior year and it's an obligation of the town. Boundtree is for ambulance medical supplies. So I would have thought.
Tree is a medical supply, is the ambulance.
That's in the
Oh,
description,
yeah.
submitted by the select board.
That's a strange name for her.
This
medical
article is
supply.
required to pay any bills from a prior fiscal year and is an obligation
Mhm.
of the town to Boundtree
Yeah,
for
so,
ambulance medical supplies.
yeah, so it was obviously a late invoice not submitted in time to get it in and paid. And, you know, or even on the accounts receivable. It's kind of like, because if we have it on the accounts receivable by the end of June, we take the FY 24 money and allocate it, bring it and pay it as early as we
So
can.
now what happens if the town votes no on this?
If the town votes no, we don't pay the bill and the ambulance might not be able to get money. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
Yeah,
it's,
it gets.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just, you know.
What happens when you don't pay your cable bill?
Yeah, okay, no, I'm just asking,
Right,
because,
it's kinda- Yeah,
it's, I mean, it's a bill you gotta pay, I mean.
It's $200, it's not like it's.
right.
no,
Yeah.
oh, I get it, I'm just asking the question.
Just in case, yeah.
No.
Well, I didn't know what Boundtree was. I thought maybe it was something to do with.
Two trees.
I was thinking, yeah, that's what I was
I
thinking,
I
Park
was
and
thinking of
Cemetery,
the,
yeah.
you know, the,
Kind of weird name.
Fixing the trees or
Medical
something.
center.
yeah, because we do, yeah, I can't even think of the position. Don't we have a tree?
Covers.
We have a tree warden.
Tree
Warden,
warden,
tree
yeah.
warden.
Tree
It's
warden.
kind of like, and he may not do the work and he hired it out. That's
Well,
what
that's, right. So
Yeah.
we're all wrong.
so we're all wrong.
Oh,
It's
let's
kinda
go
like-
to the next one. Holy moly.
So do we need to vote on
Okay,
this
we do
first?
need a motion and a
Okay.
vote.
I'll make a motion that we pay $212.17 to Boundtree for ambulance medical supplies.
Okay, so. we're
I'll
gonna-
second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. And so a vote in the affirmative will be to recommend Article 1 be passed at town meeting. A roll call vote.
Gerald Bazikis, yes?
David Walker, yes.
Carol House says yes.
Mary Jane Churchwell, yes.
Sam Grant, yes.
And Don Hayes, yes, unanimous. We will pay our bills.
Who's this one?
Okay, Article 2. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a total of $397,000, of which $32,000 will come from free cash, $100,000 will come from an awarded BARC grant, $250,000 will come from awarded from the Massachusetts Office of Disabilities Grant, and $15,000 will be provided by a donation from the Kids Country Playground Committee to replace the current deteriorating playground with an ADA compliant and inclusive playground at the Kids Country Playground located at 27 Turnpike Road behind the Spalding Memorial School at 1 Richmond Street.
Expand what?
To expand. I mean,
No, to expand the
And,
safety, you gotta go to page
Yeah.
2 of 2, so it's not on the
Yeah.
back of the sheet, it's
It's
on the
on the
next.
back of the sheet.
okay.
That's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
my
We-
word.
That's
Okay,
totally me
Don,
and what I
yeah.
printed
Oh,
out. I
okay.
gotta fix it. It's gonna-
The
I printed
safety
it.
and number of children who will be able to enjoy the playground and to authorize select board to apply for and accept on behalf of the town any and all grants. Urgent funds, reimbursements for projects. Okay, let's talk about that for a minute. So,
Okay.
That's not the same.
Discussion, yeah.
this is a discussion.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. Do we know what they're doing with it per? Do they have,
A plan?
yeah,
Yeah,
I would
they
say
have a
that-
plan.
but we don't get to see that?
Um,
Like, I'm wearing a hat right now as a
Mhm.
vote taxpayer.
Yeah.
As
we should, yeah.
so where do we see that? So we have a
Right.
clue what this
You
is
wanna
gonna.
see, you wanna see if there's a plan other than getting together money to do. it.
Right, and I'm not saying that I'm opposed to this at all. I just
Mhm.
think we need a little bit more information on it. Somehow, somewhere. So is there a place that they post that?
We can ask them.
Who
for-
is the person who's in charge of the plan? Do we know, is it Karen? Her daughter?
I think it is, and I'll tell you, she does a great job of fundraising. She
Hmm.
works hard, that
Yeah.
girl.
um,
But,
No, but
I
if we're
just
doing
see,
it for
it's
the
a
town
big
and
number,
it's
and I
kinda like-
just think that
Hmm.
in light of the fact that we're not like
Real
flush as a
Yeah.
town,
Right.
that we really should, what?
It's all grants.
Oh, it's all grant.
Well,
All
except
grants except for the
for-
32,000.
No.
Okay, I see.
Oh, yeah, for the 32,000, so,
Okay.
I thought I saw 100,000 coming from,
Okay,
yeah.
There's two different grants.
Yeah.
okay,
there's
32,000
two-
would come
two
from free
grants.
Park,
cash.
the park
Oh,
grant
I see, okay.
Yeah.
1,000.
and the disabilities grant.
Yeah.
And then donations.
And so she has to follow the rules according to what those grants are, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
Of course.
yeah, of course,
All right,
yeah.
so yeah, and
So they're asking the taxpayers to fund 32,000.
And I guess the question becomes, what if the taxpayers don't want to fund the third, does the town have to kick in the 32,000 to get the other 350,000.
Oh,
Good question,
oh,
Right.
do they? Do
good
they?
question.
Because the
I don't-
town will fund it. They need to replace equipment.
You
Because it's
usually,
unsafe for the children. It's
Oh,
deteriorated.
so it's unsafe
It's a good
equipment.
cause.
Unsafe equipment.
They've
yeah,
been raising funds for this for a long time.
They've been working hard on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
they've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes you're right, sometimes those grants are based on, you have to come up with the,
Magic
With a
grant.
certain amount.
the certain amount of
So
money.
is the Kids Country Playground Committee a town committee?
It is not, I don't believe, I think it's a nonprofit committee.
Oh, it's a nonprofit on its own,
On its own.
okay. So essentially, it's self-funding, right?
For the most part,
Day to day.
between,
Okay.
between the
most
grants and the
Yeah.
fundraising they did for the 15,000.
Did some, when I lived in Westford, they did a similar thing, handicap accessible playground. And,
Oh, yeah, that's
they raised a
cool.
lot of money,
Yeah.
it's the same idea, and the playground's really nice.
Yeah,
Um,
so I make a motion to accept this article as read by Don Hayes.
yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to recommend
Mhm.
Article 2, and we use 32,000 of free cash. So, any further discussion or questions?
Yeah, so this 32,000
Mhm.
is money that is not allocated yet in the budget.
Right.
So it's an extra 32,000 that would have to be added to the budget from last year, for fiscal
This-
25,
Okay.
right?
It would, the free cash we're carrying is from fiscal year 24.
24.
So we had, I think it was 379,000 in FY 24 free cash. We used some of that for the budget for FY 24, and there was about 139, I think, left over. So
Okay.
that's free cash from,
Prior years.
I'm sorry, it's FY 23. Our FY 24 has not been certified yet.
Oh,
Yeah, but
That was supposed to get certified in December, wasn't it?
That's that has been our normal timeframe. And so we have to wait on the state to certify it, and the state has not certified it yet.
so how do we vote on it?
Well, this free cash is the FY 23 cash, not the FY 24 cash.
does it say that?
No.
23?
When we're talking using free cash, we can't use free cash until it's certified. So we can't use FY 24 free
Oh,
cash
true, because we didn't, okay.
because we didn't certify it yet.
24.
And-
But the
Certified.
32,000 is available in free cash.
It is available
Right
in
now.
free cash. We don't
Many
have.
of us get certified.
So
No,
that-
so prior year certification,
Yeah.
we have
Oh, from
about 100,000
2023.
left.
Yeah,
Oh my,
okay, I'm glad you keep this all straight in your head.
so we're getting free cash from 2023. Is there
The
like a,
We already have it.
Yeah.
yeah,
We
It's
already
there.
have that.
It's already available.
do you have like a little like sheet to show
We-
us how much is in
We
there?
should, I'll go back and ask for the full.
Yeah, it's just so we have a clue,
Yeah.
as we say, yeah, here.
Well, yeah, because we don't want to like
Overextend.
overextend it.
And,
Yeah.
and that's where Nelson would come in, I'm sure he double checked, with Katie, but, it is perfectly acceptable for us to do that.
Okay,
So we'll go back, it's kind of like,
I mean, it doesn't change the motion that was made and whether or not we accept it. It's just
no,
more
it's
of an
just,
information.
this is more information.
Discussion.
So this is still up to the town whether they want it or not. We can vote
Correct.
whatever
Right.
way
Yeah.
we want. They
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
can decide
right,
what they want.
Right,
right.
Because if that money didn't come out of 23, would it be rolled over? Is it rolled over into 24?
It's available as free cash in 24. If we didn't use it all in the budget and allocate
It rolls over.
it will roll over as free, continued free cash. We balance the budget based on the revenues for the year.
Right, well, 23 was balanced, I know that.
Right, 23 was balanced, 24 we're going through right now. And again, 24 is gonna be the little extra from the properties that were sold.
Oh,
It's
right,
kinda
you
like-
told us
so
that.
It's gonna be the regular amount of free cash plus
Right.
plus those properties that were sold. So we're expecting that. And I had submitted 2 articles to be included in this. And because we haven't certified free cash, they were dropped. So we're gonna have to get them in the spring, after free cash is certified. Because we had to pay back stabilization, and I wanted to try to move money into capital stabilization so that we could, because when the capital plan meets, you have to have an idea where the money's coming from, and available for capital. So,
So we need to vote on this.
yeah, we need to vote on this. Sorry, there was a little discussion. We have an action.
That's right. I just don't want to
Yeah,
figure it out.
yeah.
Yep, okay, so, we're voting on recommending Article 2 for vote in the affirmative is going to support recommending Article 2 pass.
Carol Hoff says yes.
Mary Jane Churchville, yes.
Jerome Zegas, yes.
David Walker, yes.
Sam Grant, yes.
Okay, John Hayes, yes, unanimous. We're passed, okay, so. Okay, now I'm going to, if we look on the warrant, Article 3, Article 4, Article 5, 6, 7.
I don't have those.
Yeah,
there
they kind
they're
of
on-
miss,
Oh, they're misplaced.
yeah, you kind of have to look,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you.
No longer gonna be able to copy.
Okay.
Yeah,
More than one page.
no, it was on my printer, I must have flipped it backwards when I
That's
turned
okay.
it to the second side.
Oh, these are the properties that are gonna go up for sale?
These are the properties going up for sale, so
Okay.
that's why I'm thinking we can, in Article 9 and 10 and 11, so, so we're talking from
Oh, my goodness.
Article 3
Yeah,
Yeah,
to Article 11 are pretty much all the same. They're describing different properties that
oh, okay.
the
Yeah.
properties committee has recommended
Oh, I
to the
see.
board of selectmen that we sell to get them back on the tax rolls.
okay.
And to get some revenue. And again, this is,
No, this doesn't show, this won't, really can't see it on there.
no, that's a little too fine. So if you have questions,
I'm just curious where all these, are these like all pretty much like repossessed homes?
Like
Like
properties,
possibly deteriorating homes?
Aren't they tax sale properties?
they are taxed,
They're not
Most-
tax sale?
There are extra properties, the properties committee identified a bunch of properties, some of them are landlocked. And some of them,
yeah,
they're
that's,
sitting on the books and the town really can't do anything with them. So if they can get like abutters and people to possibly even to give them away. I don't think they wanna go that far, but
Right.
they're not useful, so if they can get them back onto the tax rolls.
Right.
We'll get more money
Yeah.
from them. Right now, they're sitting,
They-
not being used and not even able to be used by the tenants.
there was lots of things. With the property on Apple Drive, there were 3 lots. And we recommended combining them into 1 lot so you would have an access to it. And so, there's 3 separate properties, but it's gonna become 1 property for the sale, so you have access off of Apple Drive into the property and you could build on it. So, there was some forethought put into trying to design to sell.
So we have
some of these
Meadow,
properties.
what is this? Oh,
What's the property that's down near
That stands
the
for
gun
11.
club? What property is that?
down by what?
Gun club,
182 Warren.
182?
Well, that one has been already approved for sale long ago.
Oh, was,
Did it go for
did it
sale?
go, did it sell?
Oh, hang on. Are you talking about the Rodney Gun Club out
Yeah.
Emory?
Right,
Or not the one
No.
on Warren? Okay, so that is not one real close to it, but Apple Drive is over in
Oh.
that area. And it's running near the power lines.
Mm.
And so
Yeah.
the lots are there, they didn't build on it. There's another one on Willow that they were gonna check, but it's a water lot, so they couldn't build on it.
oh,
So they were all half acre lots built
Right.
over there too, but they didn't build on this, but there's a stream running through it, this wetland, so you
yeah.
can't build on it, it's not a buildable lot,
right,
but maybe neighbors will wanna take the extra property. if you go over there, it's a wooded lot.
So some of these, so a lot of these lots may not be appropriate to build a house on.
No,
Some of them may not be, but some of them could be. It's kind of like, so,
So how does this work? Do they have an upset sale, that kind of an auction?
we list it with an auction and they promote it and bring it in, and like we did with the last three properties, they would advertise it for an auction for about 6 weeks, I think it was, and then they actually held on the auction here in this room.
Oh, they being the company
They
they
being the
hired.
company.
Oh, so the
that hired.
sheriff doesn't, the constable or a local person doesn't do it.
No, not usually.
And so we have to pay them to do that
We-
auction, right?
Right.
Of
It's
course.
gonna, but again, some of
Could come out of the funds that you receive.
it comes out of the funds you receive.
Oh, I'm sure it is, yeah.
It's not, I think there's a buyer premium that's placed on it, so when you buy it, you actually pay the auctioneer.
Oh, okay.
I think that's how it works.
Oh, they don't get a commission, like a real estate commission?
No, they will get the buyer's commission, so it's kind of like when you, whatever the price is that it sells for, we get the price.
And so these are in separate articles simply because each property is its own article?
Correct, because if you want them and somebody didn't want to sell one of the properties, you shoot down the article. So we have listed them in separate articles in the event.
In the event that somebody says, I don't want, enough people say, I don't want this one to sell,
Right,
but I'm okay with the other ones.
right, so it doesn't shoot the whole.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
but
Yeah.
can we vote
We
on
can,
all of them
we can
as
vote on a
one?
package, we can say.
Also a package vote.
We would, and again, this is not usually, this, we're recommending, usually articles that aren't financially relevant to the budget and things, we don't necessarily, but I think, again, we've done it in the past. We're recommending selling this because it's gonna help increase
Right,
Tax-
right.
tax revenue,
tax.
so.
Because
Tax
you
base.
put it back on the books,
Put it
that's what
back
you're
on the
saying.
books, sell it, get money into more money that can be.
Of course, if like
certified
some of
as
these properties have a stream going through them and you can't build on it, they're not gonna be worth much and.
They won't be worth much, but a neighbor might want to extend their.
Right.
or
Property.
Two neighbors, each
Yeah,
buy it.
But
split it.
I'm saying, that
Yeah.
even if they do that, it's not gonna change the property value a whole lot
It
if they
doesn't-
can't do anything with it.
No, but you'd
But it-
still be getting.
No, but it
taxed
would,
on
if they,
the
if they
extra
attach it to their property
Property.
Right,
and create an acre to
Right.
2 acres, that would
Right.
increase somewhat.
It would increase their property tax, but it also gives them a buffer or more
Right.
privacy
Oh,
or
and they can
more
put one of those
whatever.
little houses on it,
Yeah,
Tiny house.
a tiny house.
So I'm perfectly willing to, entertain a motion to vote them all as a block, but individually saying that we are approving each article individually, if that makes sense.
Okay, I'll make the motion that we approve the sale of the properties in Article 3 to 11
Mhm.
as one vote for each property to be sold individually.
second,
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? None being heard. A vote in the affirmative is going to vote that we recommend Articles 3 through 11 individually, as recommended by Finance Committee. Roll call vote, please.
John Bezikas, yes.
David Walker, yes.
Carol Hofstas, yes.
Mary Jane Churchwell, yes.
Dan Grant, yes.
And Don Hayes, yes. We have unanimous and approved through Article 11. Now we'll find Article 12.
That's right over on the other side of Article 3.
The other side of Article 3. Oh, okay. Of course it is.
Yeah,
That's okay.
it's kind of,
That's all right.
I did that, and it's kind of like.
What article, I'm sorry, what article did you say now?
Okay,
12.
Well,
12. This is to see if the town will vote to transfer from free cash in the treasury the sum of $15,940.25 for the purpose of funding costs associated with the replacing of 2 copiers located in the Board of Selectmen office and Town Hall mailroom.
Wait a minute,
that seems an awful lot for a copier.
It's, 4 tray plus side feeds. It's not just a simple copier.
Yeah, no, I know. It's a business copier
Yeah.
is what you're.
Yeah, yeah.
Business
With-
copier.
with finishing, with finishing, features and all that. And it doesn't say copier, it doesn't say black and white. I'm assuming we're doing black and white because that's what's there.
But it says 2 copiers, so there's 2 copiers that they need to replace?
There's 2 copiers.
Okay, so 13,000 is for 2, so
It's
each,
for 6,000.
each one is, okay, so the cost of each is a little more reasonable that way.
Yeah.
I don't think the heater's
No,
working.
it's not, I think it's like,
We gotta
It's
get
getting
costs
cold.
down somehow.
Yeah, we're only here for a few minutes.
yeah,
It tries to work us on.
just keep.
So
the-
13,000, and so we assume that all the pricing and all of that has been done diligently, right?
Right, yeah. Yeah, so,
And we have the free cash available for this, plus the other
yeah,
one that we
yeah,
also.
I've been
Is this
trying to
2023 again that we're
This
pulling out of?
32 plus
13,940,
this
okay.
So we're up to,
32 plus.
45, 46.
46.
How much is in there, do we know?
It was about
130.
100,000, I would know.
Oh, 137.
Okay.
Up to 46.
Yeah.
Now you're down to 9,000.
Do we know how old the copies are? That
You know, that, I don't know how old they are, but I know that they're used a tremendous amount.
amount of
Yeah,
time, yeah. So
they're high use.
high
items.
use, yeah.
Um,
So then they wear down quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
okay.
and the toners are getting harder to locate on them, they're that old.
Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah.
Mm, yeah. And again, I think part of this is they have to bring down their consumables, the toners, so that you're not having a whole bunch of toners that you have left over. And like, so this, approving them is one thing, but not, I don't wanna throw away $1,000 worth of toners.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. I-
Oh, okay,
Oh,
you're
yeah,
saying
because-
we still have $1,000 of toners for these old machines.
Maybe, yeah.
But the machines are broken, they're not
It-
working.
They're working, but they break down a lot and. it's
But
kinda like
yeah,
just driving up the-
if they
driving
bought
up
a
the
whole
cost of the
pile of
contract.
toner,
I hope they didn't. It's kind of like because you don't want a lot hanging around, but
because then you can't
Right,
get rid of, I mean, if it's,
right.
if the machines are that old, you can't give it to any, sell it or get
Right.
rid of it, and then you're
Yeah.
stuck with a bunch of toner that
Yeah.
is.
So I can double check on that, but it's kind of like, but that's just a piece. It's kind of like if there was a little description of we intend to use
Mm,
up the full life on them, and not before replacing them. But this is taking it and allowing them to.
allowing them to replace it by June,
Mm,
basically. It's not saying they're gonna replace it tomorrow,
right. Yeah.
But-
but it allows them to replace it by June.
Would- At the right
Yeah.
time.
So there's
Yeah.
6,500 each.
Well, I'm looking at it now and it's 13,940, so closer to 7,000 a piece, but
Is there,
and that may
I guess,
include.
So-
new toner and-
it seems like a question that should be asked, is there any way that we can get by with just one rather than 2?
You really can't. You've got all the offices up here, and sometimes you're printing, not secret, but,
sensitive.
sensitive materials that you don't want hanging out there. This one's out in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of like, so you really have to run and pick it up.
How many,
You
how
don't
old
have-
is the one, how old is the old ones?
I
You know?
don't have the exact age.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
if I may, I can
Yep.
tell you that this was discussed a great deal during the ARPA
Mhm.
discussions that the Board of Selectmen had.
Yep.
And we took it out of ARPA. It was supposed to come from ARPA. They're old. They're 10 plus years old. So, yeah, so we took them off the ARPA list basically because of the school. A lot of things got taken off, but they are needed. So, highly recommended to leave those 2 in. It's just, I mean, it's just gonna last so long, so
no, wait.
that's
Yeah.
like minor compared to everything else that we're doing. So, Thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, just while you're here, Laurie, are you now the liaison, Board of Selectmen liaison for?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
So somehow I feel like I'm on almost everything. And I think Veronica feels the same way. There's only two of us.
Right, I understand, but, you know, it's kind of like the third selectman had been, and now with that gone, we don't have a liaison to select board identified. So I thought that was being taken care of in one of the last selectmen meetings.
We've addressed it at the last two.
Yeah.
And it's kind of piecemealed because we're taking from each one, which each one of we're going to reclassify the list so that we are with ones that we're most familiar with. And not that Veronica isn't, but she's here, so I'm listening.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I'll make the motion to recommend the purchase of 2 copiers, transfer the money from free cash. The sum of $13,940.25.
Okay, I heard a second before the motion was complete, but we're, any further discussion for Article 12?
No.
Okay, none being heard, and nothing come up, a roll call vote to the affirmative is to recommend Article 12.
Carol Mazikas, yes.
David Walker, yes.
Carol Hoff says yes.
Mary Jane Churchville, yes.
Sam Grant, yes.
And Don Hayes, yes, we have a unanimous vote. We will recommend Article 12. Next, Article 13, to see if the town will vote to transfer from free cash in the treasury the sum of $1,250 for the purpose of funding costs associated with the replacement of a printer, scanner, copier in the accounting office, and paper shredding services.
Okay, so I have a question on this.
Yeah.
Do I get to ask a question now, or do we have to?
I have usually gone with, we can have questions before a motion and then
Okay.
final questions after.
So I understand that this is probably really ruined, this printer, because the county people. But what is this paper shredding services? Does that mean that we outsource this to somebody?
Okay, so it's two items for them. They need a printer because their printer breaks down in the middle of printing checks and their whole run gets messed up. And
I believe that.
So again, an older printer, and then at the same time, they're cleaning out the office and they're getting rid of and want to shred some old documents rather than put them in the trash as simple recycle. They want to shred them. So that there's two things in this article for office supplies / services for the accountant's office.
They may have some sensitive material that needs to be shredded.
I'm sure they do.
And then they just have one of those trucks come and shred.
Yeah.
Rollstone has a free service every spring. Just saying.
Oh, with Earth Day, yes.
Yeah.
But
I
I
mean,
use that
means you gotta
service.
hike a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
You gotta
that's-
haul it and you gotta get it over from here to there.
Okay.
Secure.
And you gotta save it up for a year. It's,
Yeah, you don't have room after
Yeah,
somebody
no.
moves, you're gonna have.
So,
Okay.
I mean, it's,
I mean, that it is service, but
right, but, you know, we just did the police, we approved a capital item for them last year to shred $35,000 worth. This is not nearly as big as what the police were shredding. But that might be something that we look at in FY 26. Are there more departments? Things? Yep. Was there something? Was that Larry?
I don't know.
No, okay. So it's kind of like maybe for next year, there needs to be.
maybe consolidation of shredding
Consolidation of
Yeah, so everybody
services.
can shred on the same day or whatever.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
But in this case, I know that they're trying to clean out their office and get it down to just the current records and things that they have to maintain.
yeah, have to look at
Do they require a
consolidating.
special printer to print checks?
Again,
I think it is.
It has to be set up on their on their PC so that they
Think so.
can get to it, and
No,
it's
it is.
more about the paper,
Yeah,
feeding
it's like,
the paper with the check. They're not printing the whole thing, there's check media that they have to feed in.
Okay, so the checks themselves are what's adding to this. I mean, I'm just saying that
Right.
$12.50 is a lot for a desktop printer.
Right, yeah,
oh, it probably is, it's probably more sophisticated than that, yeah.
Yeah, if it's.
And then
That's what
again, we
that's what
don't,
I'm asking, does it need to be?
yeah, well, I don't know, and we don't know what shredding services are either, it's sort of like a
Yeah.
combo here. We're trusting the rope,
yeah,
I guess.
I think that the printer was 800, and so the shredding services would be 450, so. It's a multi-trade color printer in this case.
I would assume if it's printing checks, it's probably got some special features to it that's out of the ordinary.
Kinda, so, yeah, that's,
Okay, I'll make the motion to recommend transferring the free cash in the treasury, the sum of $1,250 for the purpose of funding the replacement of a printer, copier, scanner, and paper shredding services.
And I'll second it.
okay,
Well, you know what, it says a paper shredding service.
Mhm.
Does that mean they come here and everybody takes their stuff out, and how often do they come?
well, I think this is a one-time, they're piling it all up and getting the truck to come out once to.
Is it only once for?
Are they the only ones that shred?
No, like every department says.
Shreds.
Right.
I know at work, we shredded everything and the truck came.
It's been here
Every
before, we've
couple
had
of-
the service
We've had
before.
this
Yeah.
service before.
Yes, it's not new.
It's
I mean,
probably,
they don't come like twice a year to shred everything.
they may
I think
come.
they come every 3 months.
Mm.
I would think.
Well,
I mean,
that's
there's-
what I'm gonna say, is maybe they come more than,
Well, we don't know.
Well,
No,
that's
we
the thing,
don't.
it's kind of like, they're obviously not on a regular run out here, because we're requesting a special run. I don't think that's a service we have, but maybe we should contract.
I don't
Well,
think that's good, to just do it once a year, I really don't, I think you.
no,
Give too
that's
much-
why I think we need to look at have all the departments look at
Yeah,
their
and
shredding
everybody
needs.
can chip in a
And
little
then-
bit for
and
each
then
department.
figure
Yeah,
out,
every
Yeah,
3
I
months,
think
have them
do we-
come out,
That's-
not
that's
just
in
once a
FY
year.
26.
yeah, and
Once a
maybe
year, you're
go
taking
out for
up a lot of
bid.
space.
Maybe that's a RFQ to go out for bid for shredding services
Right.
and do it,
Oh, and
whatever
include
it
the
is.
police.
Well,
the
yeah,
Police is already
Absolutely,
done.
yeah.
Yeah, but they're gonna do it again, aren't they?
I would anticipate they do.
I'm
Yeah.
sure they
But-
do a lot,
um,
so,
But again, it's kind of like the amount of retention that you have to have is different department to department and document to document even. So there's a lot of,
Yeah, but if
Lot
there's
of
a
work is
schedule
doing.
and
there's a schedule for
Schedule.
every department for what they need to maintain.
but if we knew the schedule, I mean, for FY 26, we knew what the schedule was and how much. I think they could almost go out for bid for shredding services. And if they came like, I don't know, every quarter or every
Quarter,
3
yeah.
months, I mean, everybody's gonna have stuff to shred, no matter what their retention.
We can ask those questions as we do.
who would know the answer to that?
Each department has, I'm sure, different requirements.
Do you think each department has a shredding service?
I don't know. that
I
they
hope
do.
not.
It's
I hope
kinda
not,
like-
I
yeah.
hope
No,
not,
Oh, we gotta look into this.
Well,
because,
they could pile up their papers for a long time. When, there's a lot of locations in here where papers are stored.
well, yeah, because I did on my senior tax write-off,
Mhm.
I was doing the cleaning out the files in the land use office.
Hmm.
I mean, holy cow. I mean, I was dumping, and I had the retention from the state,
Mhm.
because the
Right.
state,
Yeah.
everything has retention stuff. Because I did it for the federal government too, but anything that wasn't on that list, I mean, they had stuff.
And again, we changed our
Well, yeah,
land use
Oh, yeah, I mean,
ordinance.
so much stuff I was cleaning out there.
And again, with the turnover we've had, it's probably another reason why people haven't
But-
done it in certain departments.
But the town should not, each department shouldn't be contracting for shredding services. The town as a whole.
Yeah, I agree.
For economy of scale, I
Yeah,
mean, needs to do one
But don't you
contract.
feel as though once a year really isn't enough?
No, it's not enough. No,
No.
no,
I don't
it's,
think so.
no, it's not, especially if you have a police department or a fire department, they have sensitive
We have
materials, they got,
sensitive, right?
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
they probably have lots of it.
Right.
And if people have time, I mean, I was cleaning up files in that office that go back 50 years.
Yeah.
So
So,
like, again, I don't know what the requirements.
Well,
for
can
land
we,
use would be.
can we
Somebody-
ask,
Or digitize them. I mean, that's something that has been on the
But-
capital
but
plan
there-
for a long
but
time,
you-
is to
but-
digitize a lot of that.
yeah,
Is it-
they do have, I mean, the state has guidelines on retention
Well, of
of
course.
materials, so you just need, and it's not a lot that you have to retain, and you only have to retain most of it for a year or two.
I think the police are going to digitize, I think, didn't we get
They
some
started,
digital?
yeah, they started to digitize,
Yeah.
but they had a lot of old records.
But
So,
anyways, okay,
okay, so in this, we have Article 13, it has two items in it, and
Well, I think we could probably get the, copy print here, scanner, and wait on the, shredding service until we find more information out about it.
okay, we can
Okay,
ask for
yeah,
some more, get the details. and-
okay, so would
Amend the
we
motion.
amend the
Um,
Amend the
motion?
motion.
Or amend the article. Well,
Or the
No.
other
can we
one.
amend the article? Because that's what really what it takes.
I don't think we can amend the
We
articles.
can't amend the article. At
Well,
this
or we
point,
recommend amending the article.
Yeah.
It would be recommending modifying the motion that goes along with this article. It's kind of like the article is posted as is and will remain. The motion can be about it. It's kind of like, so if we want to separate the two, and we'll get actual details on how much the printer is and how much the shredding is. And if it's, maybe they've invited other departments to add into it and have to quote for a larger amount.
Mm.
So
we-
to
we
amend
want
the
more-
motion to separate the shredding services
Right.
from the replacement of the
Mhm.
printer?
Well, I guess we would be recommending to amend the article. When it's
Yeah.
the motion to.
Amend the
pass the
article.
article.
Well, again, the article has to,
No, I understand,
Yeah.
we're not amending it ourselves, but I'm saying,
No.
we recommend that we,
the warrant's posted, we can't change the article. What we can do is recommend that the motion made on the floor is either just for the printer or we
Right.
get the additional information, what the shredding is and why a single department is contracting it versus
the whole town,
Yeah.
a town,
A townwide.
townwide shredding.
All of a sudden I'm going, okay, townwide, let everybody,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not townwide,
yeah, no, it, town hall.
office.
Town hall.
Yeah,
Town
town,
hall and, yeah.
Yeah, town.
facilities.
town,
And again, I don't have the meeting scheduled yet, but we had one on the agenda for the 23rd, so we can revisit this article, we can make amend the motion that we take no action till we have more detail.
Yeah, I think
no
that's, I
action.
like that, yeah, I think we should do that.
Okay.
No action till we have more detail.
okay, amend the motion to take action.
And gather additional.
And gather.
information.
We basically have to tell the accounting office, we need more information on their request.
But again, there's no, like the others that had descriptions, there's no description here that helps
Right,
with it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just because it addresses a bigger issue.
Right.
The shredding.
Right, but if
Municipal, yeah.
they need the space because they've run out of space, that could, that,
but,
but we need to know the details.
Well, because if there is a one or for every 3 months that comes around, then they're all gonna have to schedule it. I mean,
Well, just give them the first Monday of the.
right, you just have
Yeah,
to do
or-
it.
or-
Floating schedule, just give them a.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's
schedule.
interesting to see if everybody's paying separately. That would be real
Right,
interesting
I
to see.
understand.
Well, so in the budget we looked at tonight, there was nothing in there about shredding services in the expense area,
No.
For the
but you
town
have
clerk's
professional
office.
the town
services,
clerk's office.
But you have professional services, so maybe.
So that might be encompassed in there.
Well, that's the
Could be
problem with all the other and miscellaneous.
Yeah,
and-
yeah,
Professional services.
Yeah, I just, everybody's got a professional service that's different for everybody.
And who knows
else.
what it is? Yeah, it's not generic. I mean, it's not specific.
Yeah.
And it's just,
But this is definitely something that could be a town office,
Absolutely.
one-time contract to do everybody's shredding. Okay,
so we're gonna,
We'll get more information
No
and
action.
revisit it
Yep.
on the 23rd, so our
23rd.
recommendation sheet will come out
action.
after our meeting on January 23rd.
okay, that sounds good. Now, I have a question on 14.
Mhm. Let's see if it's done.
Transfer the free cash.
Yeah.
In the treasury in the sum of $2,500 for the purpose of funding the costs associated with implementation of the new town
I
charter.
thought we already did that.
No, but what does that mean?
well, isn't that was, wait a minute, because isn't that what was that?
Isn't that
thing
something
she-
we just
code.
finished? I thought we
I
I
finished
thought she
something.
had that on her, the town clerk didn't she have that in her,
She does under, professional services for, 160.
160?
Yeah.
Okay, so,
It's
because
part of
that's for that whatever, that
it-
E-code or something.
E-code, yeah.
For the town charter, she said, yeah.
Right, that
So,
was the town charter.
so does it have to be, is that the same money?
So she has it in her budget,
How
why
much
is we
does she have
asking
it
for
in?
it in
Hmm.
free
How much
cash?
does she
Um,
have
how
it
much
for?
is
Carol, how much?
Well, that, we'd have to look at the BVA because that would be under this this year, not FY 26.
This year being 25, you mean?
This year being 25, the BVA.
Is it already budgeted though? If it's already budgeted, then
It was, I don't believe it was budgeted for this. So if we look at professional services. That's one.
5,800.
What number is it? Is it 160?
It's, the town clerk is 160.
I'm in the right place. I'm in 171.
Yeah, right now it's,
Here it is.
second line under expenses for professional services.
So you're saying that's part, the charter is part of that 5,800?
I would think that's part of the E code, yeah.
Because she mentioned the E-code in the
Right.
charter.
Yeah.
So why are they
yeah.
asking for another free cash where she already,
No, that's another one of those.
she already
You
has
don't
it?
take action until you know.
Yeah, we don't know.
So we need.
Yeah, we need more
information on it.
information.
It would appear that the town clerk has already.
Put it in her budget,
budget.
yeah.
And unless there wasn't enough money in the budget, and this is
Well.
to supplement that line in the budget,
It shouldn't say supplement rather than implementation.
Richard will get more information on it. Um,
So that's another no action.
That's another no action for, it's like, we're taking no action. I don't think we need a vote, but it's gonna,
I don't think we need to vote, we're not taking any action.
Action.
well, yeah, it just, we have.
You can vote to not vote.
It's an NA. It's an NA.
NA.
And then Article 15, to see if the town will vote to transfer from free cash in the treasury the sum of $5,000 for the purpose of funding costs associated with the wages of an alternate building commissioner.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
What is
Yeah,
that?
what's that
What does
mean?
that mean?
Back up for a part-time building commissioner, I would say.
Excuse me?
We don't have a full-time building commissioner. He's a part-time building commissioner.
Are we talking about,
Who we talk, how many are there?
There's one building commissioner
And he's part-time.
downstairs, and he's part-time.
I thought there were two.
Well,
Is this a new position? Or is this something that's been funded?
we'll take a. I don't know if I can get that.
When they say building commissioner, just,
What is
who
that?
is our building commissioner now?
Supervisor,
I
what?
don't remember its name.
Well, the new one is Robert Garside.
Yeah.
The old one
Okay.
is Dana
Dana,
Barnes.
right?
So I was under the impression that they're both working for us, part-time.
Is Dana still working for us?
I think so.
No, no.
We need more information.
This is another.
I was looking for the building.
Yep.
If I could find the building commissioner,
Keep going. It's gonna be down near safety, I think,
back up.
right here in this area.
Is the commissioner the same as an inspector, a building inspector? or the
Yeah,
commissioner?
we would call them, it's
Yeah,
kind of.
well, inspection.
Well, that's a different thing, isn't it?
Plumbing,
Oh, you're in the right spot.
Huh?
Yeah, you're in the right spot.
building.
Seems like
Yeah,
it.
building
That's
inspector,
two different
building
deals.
commissioner.
All right, there's the building commissioner.
Commissioner,
And there was-
alternate.
Right,
Oh, here's a stipend
right.
alternate.
So there was a stipend alternate and they.
What's that mean, a stipend alternate?
He's not an employee. He will, when his work is required, we will pay him.
Oh, he's an on-call
He's an
person?
on-call person.
So we have two people, a regular and an on-call.
We have,
A
yep,
part-time regular
yep,
and an on-call.
and an on-call.
Okay, so
Okay.
who's this 5,000 going to fund?
This is going to fund the alternate building inspector.
The
to-
alternate.
Building
Okay.
inspector.
Well,
Okay.
Not a
building,
So
commissioner.
they're
They're
saying,
calling them
are
commissioner.
they
It's kinda
saying
like-
basically that the money that was allocated in the BVA budget there is not enough?
it is not enough and we're looking to recommend that. Yep.
So, okay, but they've
So,
only,
it's not enough, how much is he
Well,
making?
I see, this is where I'm
And how often does
confused.
he
Right
make it?
here,
Okay.
they said there's $1,400 left over, still left.
Okay, but if we start for the year, they had 4,200, there's only, so we've used 66% of the money. already.
Okay,
And it could be that they're expecting a higher number of building permits and inspections to happen when the weather gets better and you start building.
Well, I mean, okay, so
Okay.
they're expecting it, but you know what? This isn't like that town everybody's running to stay here and, you know, I mean, that's kind of
Oh,
presumptuous. And we have, and we
But-
also
What,
have,
what if so,
How many part-time jobs can you have? Is that what you're
but no,
trying
well,
to say?
I'm
Yeah.
trying to think that if
Yep,
there's
it's-
still,
Yep,
there's
so-
still 1,400
right,
left in the budget for the next 6
Mhm.
months.
Yeah.
So when's the next, in the spring,
oh, the Springtown meeting, the spring special is going to be.
like April?
It's the first week of May, it's included in the annual, so we start the annual.
so is this $5,000 that we owe him, or is this like
No.
a forecast that we might owe
It
him?
sounds like it's a forecast,
I don't-
so we might, it's kind of like, so,
All right, so just say, we let it go, if we say we recommend it, it passes,
Mhm.
and they don't use all the money,
Comes back.
then it comes back? Do
It's
we have,
free-
but do we
free
have,
cash certification.
but do you have to go to town meeting to have the money come back?
No, because it's in the operating budget,
Okay,
Oh,
okay,
so it goes into the operating budget, if it's not used in the operating budget, it becomes money that has to be certified and might come back next December.
What do you mean, Mike?
Well,
if you don't use it.
because our certification we thought was for free cash, we thought was gonna be December, it's January and we haven't certified free cash yet.
Oh, I
So it's kind of like, so you're taking 5,000, putting it in, if you don't use it all, you may not be able.
You may not get it back until later in the
Later
next
than-
fiscal.
yeah.
Oh, in the next
Yeah.
6 years, but
Yeah,
you will
you-
get
you'll
it
get
back
it-
eventually.
you'll get it
You'll
back
still-
eventually.
oh, okay.
You'll
Yeah.
still get
It's
it
just a
back.
question of when.
Oh,
Are we
Okay.
talking now,
So,
But
this is where it gets sticky. What year are we talking about? We're taking the money from 23, 24?
we're
23.
talking 23.
Still
The
23.
free
Okay,
cash is
still
all we can
spending.
use right now.
Okay, so now we're up over $50,000 of stuff, and
Hmm. Okay,
Right,
we
Yeah,
have
so-
131, so just keep it in mind.
Yeah.
so we're looking for,
That's not the exact
Yeah.
figure. but-
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
know.
yeah,
okay.
so what
You
we
know-
would what we're looking for is, how did you come with $5,000?
Yeah, I would, I think
Yeah.
we need to know that,
Because-
whether it's coming
Because
back or not.
if half the year we have used I'm gonna say 3,000, is that about what we've used?
Where did I just lost it? Oh, no. Yes, building inspector.
Yeah.
So we've used like,
2,800,
yeah,
okay, so
We've
if
used
we,
2,800 and they're thinking they're gonna have another 6,000 because there's 1,400 left.
well,
right, yeah, so if we've used 2,800, are we gonna need just another 2,800 to get there, and is your building in buffer? It's kind of like,
A double buffer, almost?
it would seem
it
that way.
just seems
It's kind of like,
excessive.
so
I
let's,
think so.
let's see the numbers and how we
I
came
think
to
we should see
5,000.
the numbers
So-
and how what the
Right.
forecast, yeah.
Okay, so we're not gonna take any action on
No,
this?
this is
Right, so
no
the
action.
last three, we're looking for more
More info.
definition
Yeah,
behind how.
Right, because I mean, if we don't use fiscal 23 free cash
Mhm.
now,
Yeah.
when we come to next fiscal year, that free cash is still there and available to us.
Mhm.
Whereas if we allocate that 5,000 and it doesn't get used, now we have to
Gotta
wait for
wait
the
till
next
another year,
certification
right,
before it's
right,
available
right,
to us
right,
again.
right.
So if we give them a lesser amount, then there's less that anything that we
Yeah.
give them now, we're kind of taking out of circulation for
A
a year.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point, Dave.
And
That's a
whereas-
real good point.
Yeah.
So that's all we're looking to do, keep
Yeah.
cash available.
Yeah, that's a
Right,
good-
whereas
that's
it'd
a
be
good
better
way.
if we can have it, keep
Yeah.
it available.
Yeah.
Or give them 2,500
That's what I
instead
was
of,
gonna
Instead
say.
of 5,000.
Right,
yeah.
right, if
Instead
we
of
give them
five-
2,500,
Will that get them?
will that get it? I mean, you said they have
Well, I don't know.
1,400 left,
Mhm.
right?
So
They
5 is
spent 28. So it's almost like, well, okay, if we give you another 1,400, now you have 28 left, you have the same amount left that you've already
So you're
spent.
saying the spring is the issue because you're saying that possibly there'll be more
They're
electrical
expecting more permits
building
being needed
permits.
in the spring.
It could be.
Not really.
It
You know,
could
they-
be, but the
right.
fall is a good time too, you know,
I
I
don't
mean.
know,
Right.
I don't know.
Winter's your slow time. And
Yeah.
Right, and your
Yeah.
point is, who's rushing the towns to build?
Well, that's
But it's
my
probably
point,
also,
yeah.
it's not just to build, it's also
Well,
to
Well, it's
addition,
renovation.
redo my electric, redo my
Yeah,
bathroom,
yeah.
redo this, redo
So
that.
it's not
That's all
just that,
covered that.
yeah,
Right,
so.
and I don't know if there's anything else going on, it's kind of like, there's no description that helps us.
Get a
identify
clue
it.
of what it's all
Yeah.
about,
Right,
yeah.
so,
The
So-
money that they charge for, what am I trying to say? Not
permits.
license, the permits.
Yeah.
Where's that go?
I think it goes in the general fund.
Do we know?
Excuse me.
I don't think there's a building,
Didn't at one point, wasn't that how they sort of supplemented the pay or
You mean
something?
self-funded kind of?
Through,
No, like a self-funded kind of thing?
well, I don't know how that works.
I don't think building, that's the wrong word.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, where does the permit money go?
Yeah.
I think permit money goes in the general fund, but I think, again,
Let's confirm that.
yeah,
Let's
that's,
just
that's
confirm
fine.
it.
But I also think that, I wanna go back to this spending money forecasted.
Mhm.
So they should know now, or have a handle on what buildings they're gonna be inspecting in the next 2 months, or 3 months.
6 months.
Well, they have to go
Yeah.
to,
6
Kinda-
months, maybe
planning
not.
board.
It's kind of like, so people may not have pulled permits yet for things,
Right.
building that's gonna start in March. Or it's kind of like, or they're gonna.
Can we
pull them
look
in
at
March.
last year's thing and get a
You
clue?
might be
I mean-
able, yeah.
I mean,
You
I
might be
know that this sounds picky for $5,000, but 5,000 times
Mhm.
X
Yeah,
equals.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I do know I just had a gas inspection because I put in a house generator.
Yeah.
So the electricity will never go out again, but because I put a generator.
Mm,
Mm.
But I mean, a gas guy came out and did an
Right.
inspection, so.
oh, yeah,
Right.
no, I get it.
So
But
I guess, I
that's
mean,
separate though,
so
that's not building inspector.
No, but
No, that's.
there
the
are
gas inspector.
inspections.
Yeah.
Yeah. it's
There
not-
are
so-
Did you have to apply, you went to the building inspector and applied for the license?
Well, they all
Yeah.
did. They
Yeah.
got all
They
the
have to,
permits.
yeah.
They do
Yeah,
the permitting.
yeah.
Because there's the electric, plumbing, gas,
Gas.
I mean, they have all these different inspectors.
Right, yeah.
So,
yeah, with
so
their
I
different
could see
specialties,
where
yeah.
maybe if you put in a dish, I don't know,
Right.
put an addition on, they gotta go out and inspect it. But
Yeah,
Multiple
but this
times.
is for one person though.
yeah, and that still seems like 5,000 still seems like a lot of money. I agree.
when it's doubling the ask at the beginning.
Right,
Yeah, they
right.
have 1,400 left.
It's more
Yeah,
than,
they have
well, it's more than
1,400.
So then
doubling.
they'd have 3,600.
Yeah.
For the 14 and the 25, it's.
They're asking for 5,000.
But the
I
rest
know,
of,
but
Oh.
Which
we
is
did
more than the
25.
initial budgeting request.
right, because
That's
it's
a lot.
because
So,
the
yeah.
initial was 4,250 was the initial, original budget was 4,250. And they've spent 2,805,
So what's left?
1,445.
Don, can I
Yeah.
ask a question? Might be a stupid question, but don't they get income? I mean, every time there's an inspection, don't you pay a fee?
No, not necessarily. You pay it based on
Really?
the permit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll pay
think
your
so.
fees up front because they'll do, they know when they have to do the.
Okay, so there is a fee and it is paid by the applicant.
It is,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so what is the income versus the expense?
That's a good question. We
Yeah,
don't know.
It's kind of like, we're gonna have to go
Yeah,
to,
we have no clue.
account- yeah, see if.
That's
see if
the
there's-
question.
Yeah, see how that money comes in to the general fund
Yeah.
and, how much it is on the
Yeah,
permits.
yeah, we need more information on this. Thank you, Lori, to
Yeah,
point
so,
that out.
yeah, like I say, I don't think it stays within the department to pay. It just goes in the general fund and funds.
It's part of the town
It's
income.
part of the town income.
But we
which
still
we-
have an accounting of what it is, don't we? I mean,
We
they know how
should,
many
yeah.
permits they give
Yeah,
out and how many
right.
inspections they make.
Mm.
Especially if he's a per diem. Is he a per diem, the alternate?
Stipend.
It says
Everybody
stipend,
who's a building
it
commissioner, I
says
think is stipend.
it's a
everybody but
stipend,
that.
so I don't know, I guess that.
Are they using that word stipend in place of?
We need
It
more
says,
information.
it says stipend here,
Yeah.
alternate building.
Because when we first were planning.
But this says funding wages. Is stipend a wage?
It is.
It
Oh, okay.
is,
All right.
well, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's in the wage section.
A wage
So,
section,
Mm.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just need more information on this.
Yeah. Yep, we can. It's kind of like we're looking to build it out. And so the last three, Article 13, 14, 15, we're looking for more information.
Dawn, you are not allowed ever again, ever. Holy moly, okay.
You mean, you
Oh.
wanna fire me?
No,
No.
We leave you with some
No.
burdensome duties.
I have that wish every once in a while, but.
Okay, so now we're on 16. What's-
Which is on the back of
Right,
8.
and I will say, that- oh, no, Article 16 is a money one also.
Oh, okay. Is it on the back of 8?
Yeah, from the back of 8.
It's on page 6, you can find that.
Right, if you can find page 6, it's on page 6, that's 12.
Yeah, so flip that one over. I think it's on the back. There you go.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah, I only printed the first 6 pages because the rest of beyond this is zoning articles and we don't vote on zoning articles.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's so.
Thank God.
Okay.
See the town.
So you're saying like Article 17 is not one that we,
If
That we
17 and 18,
recommend.
we will not recommend, the zoning articles and they're not budget or finance related.
okay,
Even if there may be permit fees. and
right.
stuff
No, I
there,
understand.
It's normal operating things and,
Yeah.
and planning and zoning.
So we just have this $6,600 for the
Yeah,
fund.
to see if the town will vote to transfer from free cash in the treasury the sum of $6,605 for the purpose of funding costs associated with the annual audit of the town workers' compensation program.
Well, I don't think we have much choice on that one.
No, it's kind of
So
like.
why was that not budgeted before?
Yeah, good question.
Well, the budgets were prepared by two other town
Two other town
administrators,
administrators.
not the current one.
Oh, my, okay, so enough,
It's
yeah,
kind of
got it.
like, so if we're coming up and we're saying we need an audit, it's kind of like, this is something we have to make sure
We get done.
Yeah,
we get done, number one, and number two, we make sure that it's in the FY 26 and beyond.
So this is for potential audit.
This shouldn't be a potential, this
It
says
says
it's required, annual
Annual.
required, so it's kind of like, so.
it should be the required.
It says annual audit.
Yeah.
So
it
this
should be-
happened last year.
And well, in this is not part of the annual audit where the outside audit committee comes in and looks at, or the
Right.
company comes in and looks at our operating budgets.
Mhm.
This is specifically to a workman's comp.
Right. But I guess this workman's comp funding was audited last year?
It should have been, yeah. It's kinda
Okay,
like,
and so we don't know if it was or not.
Workman's comp. Are we self-insured on that?
You're thinking unemployment.
Unemployment, I'm sorry.
This is workman's
Yeah.
comp is state, right, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, it's kind of like we have to
I
make
was
sure
thinking
that.
unemployment.
Audit of.
So
the
what are they
town's
auditing? Are they auditing to make sure that we paid our workman's comp bill?
Who's auditing it?
It would be the state coming in to do an audit,
Oh, and you have to pay for the audit.
and we have to pay for the audit. But they're making sure they're looking at payrolls, they're looking at everything else associated, who the workers are, how many, is everybody above board? And look at the salaries, how much it is, and
I understand
you
that
have to
part,
work
but so is this gonna go to the state?
this will, yeah.
Another unfunded
Well,
mandate.
Well, or it could be that they hire an outside company, they contract out somebody to do it.
Who, they, the town or the state?
The state, probably.
So this is a state,
This is a
Fee.
state, this is a state auditing our workman's comp. Yeah,
Basically saying that we're paying the correct amount into the state
Yeah.
workman's comp fund.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we basically have to pay it.
I think
we do, but
do we know that's the bill? 6,605,
I think
is this another forecast by the famous
forecast.
forecasters?
I'm assuming it is there. I can ask that question.
No more assumptions, Don, we have to go on hardcore evidence here.
Okay,
So we need more information on this.
okay. So we're gonna take a no action.
on
Yeah, because I
article.
think assumptions got us into this boat,
Yeah.
not your assumptions,
No,
but,
no, no,
you
no,
know.
I agree. It's kinda
Okay,
like-
so we want to verify,
We wanna
verify.
verify, yeah.
Verify.
Is that a true amount?
Exactly, and maybe that's something
Well, the
that
trouble
we ask for warrant, supporting documentation of warrant articles.
I think without question, we should have supporting documentation. of
I
it.
mean,
I mean, how are we
a
gonna make a
question that
decision?
a question that we ask is, okay, it says annual audit, so what was the cost last year for the
Right.
audit?
Right,
Oh,
and who are
yeah.
we paying? I
And who did we
mean,
pay it to?
yeah,
And that's, go back and look at the last 2 years, how much was it, how much did we have in the budget in FY 23, 24, and 25?
Right.
See
to see how much we really paid.
how much we really paid for each of the things.
For this audit, I mean,
And do we
yeah.
need to break it down into two
Yeah, 'cause
lines,
this
one
is-
for the workman's comp fee and one for the audit, so that we see it in there.
And this
Yeah.
this is not the big audit that they do.
This is not the big audit.
No.
This is
a little audit.
Yeah,
this is
which
a
just
single-
seems like a lot
single
of
audit.
money.
Yeah.
I think
Single
it's a lot of
function
money,
audit.
but.
Well, the other
well,
ones
yeah, I
are-
mean, if
Remember.
accountant's coming in to do it, that's probably actually pretty cheap.
Exactly.
Well,
The accounting company that we have do our audit on an annual basis will charge us an additional $3,000 for an audit like this. They can't do workman's comp, but, so if I'm seeing double and it's the state coming in to do it, it's kind of, again, documentation where, where
Where's
are
it
we?
coming from?
And where's the money coming from, and do we need two lines in the budget going forward, one for the audit, one for the workman's comp, so we actually see it and see it budgeted year over year. Instead
The
of just-
audit of the annual audit of the town's workers' compensation
Compensation
program.
Because there are places.
It does
in-
sound like it's self-funded.
Yeah, it's kind
It
of like,
sounded, I mean, just,
yeah,
yeah,
it
yeah.
sounds like, but we're looking for more information to see the numbers and how it matches, because there is some money in the workman's comp, but is the remainder of the money in there, just paying the workman's comp insurance?
So we're basically working on like 50 grand left.
In FY 23,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we're not certified in 20.
right, not yet, it's kind of like we.
How long? When do you think
I
that
don't know.
might happen?
We always tried to push them and do it for the December special town meeting.
Oh, you mean next year, 2025?
No.
No,
What
this
I'm
past
saying is
December.
historically,
Oh.
we would try to call the state a lot and get it certified by mid-December, so we could have a late
Oh,
December
like a
special town meeting.
greasy, yeah.
Yeah, it's the noise, the noisy,
Yeah. Greasy.
The noisy
Big
wheel
one,
gets the
yeah,
grease.
yeah,
Squeaky
whatever.
wheel
The
gets the
squeaky,
grease.
yeah, that's,
yeah, it's kind of like, and so there were those kinds of calls. Right now, I think they're being extra cautious with us and really making sure the numbers work before they certify.
Oh, because of the situation we're in.
Probably, yeah. It's kind of like,
I mean, so basically we've deferred action on 15,000.
yeah,
Dollars.
right.
Only because we're
And-
asking
Yeah.
for information.
And-
Yeah.
$15,000 is $15,000.
Exactly, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
So,
no, agreed.
yeah.
so
100%.
we're looking for it, and we're not saying we won't, we just want.
We
more-
just
We
want
wanna
more
understand it
information.
better. We
We
wanna
wanna
understand what do you, what's
And I think
really
that's what the
involved.
taxpayer needs to know, is what, to
Mhm.
understand what.
Yeah.
Just not $5,000 because, or 15 or 6,
Well, those days are
whatever.
gone.
Well, let's hope, yeah, no, well, now that we're here.
Those days are gone.
Lots of hip rolls.
Oh, the heat. I can feel the
I know
heat.
not really.
I know
Not
nothing.
really.
Turn it off again.
Okay, John can't do copies and I don't do heat. Yeah, moving forward.
Okay, so that was, we had done the correspondence,
Yeah.
Oh, Article 17 is long.
Yeah, but we
Oh,
don't,
but it's zoning.
but
so
we
don't
don't,
have to do
right,
that.
we don't do that.
Yeah. 17 and 18
Only money ones.
are long ones, so we are,
It's 18 days.
He
Well,
didn't print
that's
that.
zoning.
like, when we do our recommendation sheet, we do no recommendation on those. It's kind of like, which is different, it just, we don't do a recommendation on non-financial assets.
Non-financial,
So-
that makes sense, but we
so-
should say that, we don't.
Right, so
Yeah.
when we do the recommendation sheet, we'll get to Article 17 and 18 and put that in
No
there.
recommendation,
No recommendation.
non-financial,
Yeah,
Non-financial.
right, no financial.
that makes
impact.
sense.
Non-financial, whatever,
Mhm.
yeah.
Right,
Stuff.
yeah, non-financial article, yeah, yeah. So that's what we do with those. And I will say there was under correspondence, I had, a second one. North Middlesex is reaching out to the towns to hold special town meetings in March to talk about overrides for their budget.
And when is that gonna be?
We don't know.
We don't know yet.
We don't know yet. They're looking
Mm.
first couple of weeks of, at maybe the second week of March. So that would be after the summit. It's, nothing official yet. It's kind of like, it's just been a request.
So do we get to see what their individual
Line items. or-
line items look like? I mean,
We
You can
can,
ask.
you can.
Yeah.
well, I mean, I don't
It's all,
know,
it's all
if
public
they're
knowledge.
buying, 450 desks
Mhm.
and then using tables, I mean,
Yeah, there are lots of questions, that we need to ask and see the numbers.
What does the school committee do?
I'm assuming they look at the, probably the budget team from the schools will, show them the budgets and the numbers. I don't know if they get down into the details of every line, like we see every line, office supplies and expenses.
yeah,
Everything.
right,
I
that's
don't know if the school
important.
committee.
But
I
And
you
don't
don't
know.
think the school committee does that?
They-
I think so. I think
Yeah.
they do.
I would think they
And do
do.
we get
Yeah.
Because don't
salaries?
they negotiate with the?
We get salaries and.
I don't know
the
what
whole
the
thing.
school committee does.
I would
Well,
think
they have their
I
own
think
negotiating for,
they-
you
they
mean,
do.
like,
It's kind of like,
for raises and stuff like that? Is that what you're talking about?
That's probably a union thing.
Right.
Oh, yeah, they get,
But-
teachers.
But
get
don't
steps.
they, the
Well, they
kind
get steps
of, look
plus.
at the
Yeah,
budget?
no, I get
and-
that, I get that.
and then they get the
Negotiate, I don't
other
know.
extras for dickies
Yeah.
and things like that.
Well, yeah, usually the teachers are usually on a scale
Yeah,
for,
yeah.
years.
How many years, how
You
many
know, like,
credits?
how many
they
years
have.
and how many?
Degrees, because
Degrees
my
and credits,
ex-husband was a teacher, so it was like you got money for bachelor's degrees, master's
Right,
degrees,
yeah,
PhD. And then the scale of
A
how many
plus.
years,
It's, what do they call it?
step
Step
increases
plus or
yeah.
something.
or whatever,
So-
so, and I know that works in every school
Yeah.
system.
But I think that it would be very important for us, particularly this year, to look at that school budget
Right.
seriously,
See,
because,
see the details. I would like a comparison of how their school budget compares to what, Desi in the chapter 70
I agree 100%.
allocations are.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, because that's where really where their reimbursement is coming from. And again,
Get the
Well, remember
transportation
what
money.
is
yeah,
it called?
and the transportation money.
Well, what was it, Representative or Senator Cronin there said, you know, there are losers
Oh,
and
the
winners,
losers,
and
the
you're a
losers
loser.
this year, Yeah.
Well,
Oh, I
two hundred eleven.
Right, well, then we need to
Yeah.
tell Senator Cronin, we're not doing these
But-
things then until you fund it.
About 10 years ago, or 8 years ago, I can't remember, there was something that went through, it was called Gateway. And the city's got more money than
The rural,
the rural areas.
suburban
I think it
areas.
was called Gateway.
Well, I think it's a two-pronged problem.
Well,
First
Sue
of all,
Lucio called me today and reminded me about the Gateway
Hmm.
law, but I don't know what it is. I've got to look it up.
Yeah, I think that was the implementation of the new chapter 70.
Is that what it was?
and that's what
Money.
Cronin was referring to. I think.
Exactly.
But you know what, that's not a good enough answer
No,
for taxpayers,
no.
because there have to be equal taxpayers rurally than there are metro.
You know, it should be based on student,
Well,
the number of
and-
students.
But it is, it is
There's
based on
more
that,
kids
and you
in the
never get
city.
less allocation than you got the prior year. That's
But
the
you know
chapter
what?
70 rule.
Where's the squeaky wheel on that?
Well, what's the squeaky wheel? When we first started this in the number comparison, we had 4,000 students. We have 3,000 students now. That's a 25% drop in
Yeah.
student population.
So why is it,
Why are the budgets?
yeah,
So it's kind of like, so
if it's driven by
Because
students.
if we
If it's
drop
driven-
down by
right,
students,
but-
then we
but-
should be dropped down by
And,
teachers.
and if that's really the problem, is it shouldn't be driven by number of students.
I think it is
should-
dropped down by teachers, because a lot of those teachers have between 28 and 30 kids in a classroom. That's not easy to deal with.
I had,
No,
I mean, they
but-
do it,
we had more than.
But-
Oh my God, when I
But-
taught school,
Yeah.
I had 33 kids in my class.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
I don't remember
I
everybody's
can't
name,
imagine
like day
33
one.
first graders. I don't.
Yeah.
We're-
That's
I
changed.
mean, when I lived in Boston, we had, when I was a kid,
Exactly.
going to
But is it
parochial
an
school.
But
we
is
had-
it an
No,
ideal
that's 60 kids in a
situation?
class, the Catholics just
I was
pushed them right in.
We have schools to talk about,
Yeah.
but at this point, our next meeting is January 23rd.
That's
We'll be
next
moving-
Thursday.
That's next Thursday. We started to go to
Shift.
Thursdays. shift
Oh, yeah,
to
right.
Thursdays
Yeah, you
Oh,
were
okay.
there, you said
And it's
that.
still
Board of Selectmen
Tuesdays and
meeting.
Thursdays are gonna be.
So we're gonna go back.
And we're still
And-
6 o'clock?
We're still 6 o'clock. And the other part of this is, at the last Board of Selectmen meeting, we talked about doing joint, so we'll work on a schedule of when our joint meetings are. And so the Thursdays that we had thought about for February may all be Tuesdays, because we'll be doing joint meetings with the Board of Selectmen.
Okay. Okay, so stay tuned, right?
Yeah, stay tuned on the exact schedule for February.
Okay, so FinCon,
Yeah, that takes us to collaborative working on the budget and bringing department heads in, at the same.
So do we have a department head coming in next Thursday?
I didn't have it scheduled, but we can ask treasurer to come in.
Okay.
'Cause I have.
How about treasurer says, can the assessor come in? and say, Or is
Sure,
it too much?
yeah, no, I don't think it's too much.
Knock them out of the way.
No, because I personally, I have a question about CPA.
Okay.
And the two of them together will be a
Sure.
good, because when we get into FY 26, we're starting CPA
Right,
at that,
What's
Yeah.
CPA?
community preservation.
you know, that's.
1%.
Oh, that
yeah,
that
Yeah.
new tax that we,
Yeah,
that
new tax,
that
they
people
won't
talk
say
every
that.
day.
It's kind of like,
My
because
favorite.
we have to do it, and there has to be, on the assessor side, there's gotta be people coming in looking to,
Opt out with the
Opt
6 page.
right.
well, that was that's.
What
the
is that?
best. Yeah,
It's a
we'll-
6
we'll see.
page
We'll see, it's kind of like, it's kind of like this work to, so with that, treasurer's gotta get it out on the bills, I think, and
Well, yeah, because
Assessors
when I
have to
lived
be
in
able-
Westford, I was
Oh.
surprised it wasn't on the bill already, but I guess there's a learning curve there. But yeah, when I lived in Westford, I paid that. And it's a separate line, it was always a separate line item on your
Don't
tax
forget
bill.
to put treasurer.
so
So,
it's kind of like,
oh, yeah, and then the
So-
purple trash bag,
Well,
and the
that's-
1% tax, and okay, let's not have a hospital or a school.
well,
Okay,
so,
thank you.
with that, I would like to, accept a motion for adjournment at.
Don, the calendar here, 23rd at 6 PM. What's this
Yeah.
bit, the 26th?
That's Sunday.
Not the 26th, the 28th.
28th.
Um,
Okay, 28th, and then the STEM is on the 30th.
No,
No, this is on the 28th, the
It's
special
28th,
town meeting.
yeah.
Okay,
28th.
fine. So we got the 23rd, and then on the 28th, the
Yep.
STEM at 7 p.m.
7 PM is, yeah,
on the
And then on the
28th.
30th. And then on the 30th.
yeah, we had the 30th, but,
Do we change it?
we haven't changed it yet. I think we'll confirm that whether we need it, because I think we were doing it because we weren't sure what February was gonna look like with reviewing them, so, we may be able to, if we're doing 4 meetings on Tuesdays.
So the 28th is when the special town meeting occurs.
Correct.
Correct, yeah,
Are you gonna be able to be here?
I don't know.
7:00.
Close at 7.
Yeah, Tuesday at 7:00, so.
I know, I may have to go have a root canal instead.
You're right about that.
Yeah, so the 30th is tentative at this point. I don't want to overbook us, because if we're going to meet the next Tuesday with the Board of Selectmen, then that would, that's a lot of meetings in a short amount of time, which I know we've done, but this is really the start of the budget season
Well, the
now.
thing is, we don't wanna get caught at last minute, like.
Right, yeah. No, but we have the ability to do some Thursday, Tuesday, Thursday in February.
That's good.
And then the last will be the summit in the first Saturday in March.
March.
What's the summit all about?
It's.
Is it at a
it's just
hotel?
another-
Will it be like
yeah,
hotel?
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
We
been
can
here.
go to
It's kinda like,
resort.
Yeah. a
Department
resort.
heads come in here.
Oh.
And Board of Selectmen and Finance
Oh.
Committee is here. And it's a last, if there's any changes, anything that's come up from the beginning of the budget cycle to then, we get the changes right then, because we've got to really finalize budgets at that point.
That's a big day.
So that's a big, long day. It's kind of like, but if we can get a lot of it like out of the way, like we did with Kathy, I think relatively small amount of changes to her budget.
So originally we had 3, Kathy was the other person. So next week we could have 2 come in and get that over.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be good.
So I'll send out invitations to,
And then next week, we're hoping to get the clarifications on these
On
articles.
these articles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the special town meetings on the 28th, we don't have a whole lot of time to get.
we don't have
No,
time.
we
We
don't
have to
have like
we
a
have to have
week
the
or
answers
10
for-
days.
Not
Or
much.
12 days.
And I mean, if we don't get answers, then
I'm not gonna
I would
recommend.
say.
No, we
say
gotta say
we
no
don't
recommendation.
recommend.
No, we don't. If we
Yeah.
don't get
Well,
answers,
I'd
no recommend.
recommend a no.
Yeah.
Like, recommend no.
Well, no, because the message is we need the, like you said.
More information.
The documentation backing up the,
Right.
Yeah, I know.
How do we get to these numbers?
Did we
Yeah.
adjourn, did we
Show me the
vote to
map.
adjourn yet?
No.
No,
Okay.
I was
You would make a
entertaining it,
motion?
and then we had another
Oh.
question. So I would entertain the motion now to adjourn at
I'll move
8:30
that we adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
Okay,
Okay.
roll call vote.
Gerald Ziegler, yes.
David Walker, yes?
Carol Hofstas, yes.
Mary Jane Churchwell, yes.
Sam Grant, yes.
We stand adjourned. Thank you all
Thank
for
you.
coming and doing a
Thank
long
you.
meeting.